Just seeing that Mountain East. We welcome you to the Peak Health Track and Field Complex at beautiful Milan Park in Morgantown, West Virginia for Day 2 coverage of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships. Coverage on this second day of this three-day affair being produced by Video Productions in conjunction with the Mountain East Conference, along with former championship coach Jim Mahan, who is our analyst over the course of these 3 days, and our great crew of Mark Martin. Delighted to have you with us. And Jim, competition bringing us a little prelude into the bulk of championship races tomorrow, but we're also going to be taking a look at some of the field events here, and we'll start with the women's pole vault just getting set to begin here inside this wonderful complex.
Yeah, one of the more unique outdoor events for women. The pole vault actually didn't even start for women until the mid-90s, and we go through some history of that as we go through these competitors. But we have 13 of them slated to vault today, so they're going to be getting some points for their respective schools.
Glorious day weather-wise here in Morgantown for the competition.
Yeah, one of the things that is probably the most important to look at is that last stat. I mean, the temperature-wise does carry some weight in terms of what type of pole selection you take, but wind is also a big factor here at 9 miles an hour south-southwest, so that really should not affect the vaulters. They have been going through their practice runs and getting their marks, and looks like they're just about ready to go, getting instructions from the field judge there around the pole vault, and we will be starting right away.
All right, we'll have running events later here in Morgantown. The men's 110-meter hurdles trials will get going at 6 o'clock, and that will be followed by the women's 100-meter hurdles. And then at 6:30, it's the men's 400-meter trials, followed by the men's 100-meter trials at 7:05, followed by the women, and the men's and women's 800 meters at 7:30, 7:45, respectively. We'll wrap it up with a running final, the men's and women's steeplechase. So we look forward to that. Again, a good beginning to it all yesterday. 6 finals. UC holding the edge coming into day 2 over Point Park in this 3-day event. Golden Eagles men's team with 45 points. Point Park with 31. West Virginia Wesleyan 12. On the women's side, UC with 46. Point Park 17. And Davis and Elkins had 14. Get into a lot of the things that took place yesterday and also what's happened here earlier today. Men's shot put, women's shot put, long jump. For the women, again, we're getting set for the pole vault, the men's high jump and the men's long jump going to get started right at 6 o'clock. 10 teams competing here in Morgantown, and we got day 2 action coming your way in just a moment here at this beautiful facility at Milan Park. You are watching live day 2 coverage of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships here on the MEC Digital Network.
For over 4 decades, the health plan has called West Virginia home. It all started with a vision to serve our community with pride and integrity. We've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming part of its fabric. We've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Because at the health plan, we don't just work here, we live here. Proudly serving West Virginia since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community, the Health Plan, here for you.
women's pole vault action getting set to begin. Day 2 here at the 2025 Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships. And also on the track, we have the men's 1,500 meters of the decathlon taking place as well. Heat 1 unfolding as we speak. So running going on as well as field competition. Again, we'll get into a bevy of trials coming up a bit later in the evening. Great to have all of you with us. And Jim, you talk about it all the time, you know, just the differences in events in this great sport of track and field, and certainly with the pole vault, so many things it takes to be successful in this event.
Yeah, one of the things that a lot of these vaulters know that, you know, in high school, they're generally probably the best vaulter they have on their team, and then when they get in college, then they almost have to start over again kind of as a beginner, because the skill and the technique get a little bit more refined, of course. I mean, you're moving up. A lot of these vaulters probably were the best pole vaulter at their school, or perhaps, you know, even in their state, and now they go to this, and all the ones that are there are the same. So here we got Akita.
Malamo Akita, West Virginia Wesleyan. Mentioned this young lady's name last night in running action.
And you see she has a very short run up to the pit where she posts the pole, and she clearly gets over it, but this is one of those cases where she hangs on to the pole just a little bit too long, and ends up costing her a miss.
Sarah Lowe from Glenville State University. Also attempting at 2.3. We should have some, Jim, that will pass.
A lot of them will pass at this. We have some of the more seasoned ones will pass many heights.
Good job there by Lowe. Clearing the bar. Updating team scores as we take another look at Sarah Lowe. From the home of the Pioneers, Glenville State University.
Good
Probably didn't get the bend she probably wanted, but still able to.
Well, the thing
clear.
that was important about that, she didn't get the pole bend that she needed, but she had the strength to stay above the height of the bar.
Bridget Knapp, her teammate, caught there.
Let's go, Marquise!
And she was falling back. So update on the team scoring. On the men's side, UC was 60, Point Park 34, Glenville 15. UC also leads on the women's side, 64, Point Park second with 30, and West Virginia Wesleyan at 26.
Yeah, Knapp kind of cleared the height mark, but she hung on to the pole, and that's just kind of natural for somebody that hasn't done a lot of pole vaulting, because they're not sure about where they're going to land on the pad. It is not a risk-free event. You're not just running. I mean, you could land on the pad awkward. All sorts of things could happen.
Marissa Scott from West Liberty there in the Northern Panhandle. Nice attempt there.
One of the more unique approaches here from Marissa. You'll see how she kind of straddles it like a hurdle.
Right.
And then kicks that leg up and is able to clear the height.
Let's get a big round of applause for 12 young men, 2 days. Let's put the count.
And we see Reagan Civic on her first attempt at 2.3 meters.
And Civic clears nicely.
She didn't have much trouble there, the Frostburg. You notice the very short runway they're using. Very easily over that one. Somewhat a little bit surprising that Civic took that height, knowing that it's It's actually 2.3 meters, 7 feet 6.5. They go up basically, 5 or so 6 inches in the next height.
Alexis Anzavino from Concord.
It was her second attempt. She's probably one of the shortest approaches that we have of any of the vaulters in the conference here. She only takes about 10 steps here, and she kind of lost her balance there on the backside of it, wasn't able to get that center of gravity over the pole.
Bailey Bentley also from Concord.
Bailey did a little bit of a field goal there on the bar and kind of kicked it with her foot. I don't know whether that was, she just didn't have a lot of speed going into it. One of the, there are several factors in the pole vault, Mark. There's, in the vault, you have to have, good speed. You have to pick the right pole. You got the conditions, and then, you have to really do a lot of work on the core part of your body to be able to torque your body around and over top of the bar. And it requires really a lot of people that have innate gymnastic skills, and some of that you can train indoors, but it's a completely different animal when you're outside.
Here's Akita from Wesleyan. And this time, Malamo Akita. She's pumped.
Her teammates there greeting her with that one. You'll see a really different approach from her. She's not one that actually carries the pole down the runway. She will take the tip of the pole and she kind of buries it into the runway and kind of runs it down that way, wanting to make sure, of course, that she clears the height.
Blake Stanton of Charleston, 38.77. Adonis Soto of Charleston, 39.99. Jeremiah Zielinski of West Virginia Wesleyan, 1,041. Cole Brackett of West Virginia Wesleyan, 1,102. So here are your top 8.
There's Knapp's second attempt, and she starts drifting there over to her right, but she's able to control her landing clearing over the bar. So a successful after the first attempt where she failed. She did finally clear that at 2.3 meters. And Zavino's second attempt. Unfortunately, she's not able to clear the 2.3 meters.
Going back to that 1,500 meters in the decathlon, Cole Bracken of West Virginia Wesleyan was the winner in a time of 4 minutes, 18.45 seconds. Peyton Slider of Wesleyan was second, 4 minutes, 28.26 seconds. Morgan Corwine of Frostburg was third. Blake Stanton of the University of Charleston was fourth. Malachi Stewart coming in fifth. Olu Abadulo of Concord was sixth. Nate Halver of Wesleyan was seventh, and Marquise Burks of Frostburg was eighth.
Looks like Bentley misplaced her hands, and she wasn't able to pull her weight up on the pole. Part of that had to do with her speed. You'll see here, she only takes just about 12 steps, and then she plants the pole, and there her hands are well above her head, so it means she would really had to pull her weight, her full body weight over top of that bar. It's been kind of difficult. That was her third and final attempt at 2.3 meters.
You are watching live Day 2 coverage here, the 2025 Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships on the MEC Digital Network. Great to have all of you along with Jim Mahan and Mark Martin, our wonderful crew. Beautiful day here in Morgantown. First time that the Outdoor Track and Field Championships have unfolded here at Milam Park, which is just a spacious, outstanding facility, Jim.
Yeah, it's just wonderful. And, Mark, we couldn't have scripted better weather. It's beautiful, 81 degrees, not a whole lot of wind out there. No real threat in sight for today. There had been some questions about some possible rain tomorrow, but we'll just take that as it is. And there's nothing that we can control. We just have to do the best with what we can. Same thing with the athletes. As we mentioned before, there were 13. That was a really nice job rolling over the, pretty excited on that end. That was Marmo Akita. Her first attempt at 2.45 meters, which is 8 feet and a half inch.
So Sarah Lowe steps up for the approach.
This is her first attempt at 2.45. She cleared 2.30 in her first attempt.
And Lowe is over. Great job by Sarah Lowe.
Mark Lowe's 2 for 2. She had one vault at 2.3 and cleared it, had the second vault at 2.45 and cleared it.
Bridget Knapp from Glenville, and Knapp just can't clear there.
Yeah, that's a good thing. It's just her first miss there at 2.45, so she'll get 2 more opportunities. She was really close to getting this one. Her plant was a little early, kind of threw her timing off, and then she grazed it with her hip as she was going over.
And we'll see Marissa Scott from the Northern Panhandle School of West Liberty. Going here 2.45 and easily clears Jim.
Yeah, she didn't have any trouble at all. I mean, she kind of rocketed over the bar. She didn't want to be dangling. Once she released herself off of the pole, we'll see this pretty good speed coming in with a plant. And then she's already elevated over the pole. She's got a good foot above that if she would have had a higher bar set. And she knows it. Mentally, these vaulters know when they're having a good day.
Civic now ready to go again out of Frostburg. Civic up and over. Nicely done.
Yeah, the thing that gets important as you start moving up these heights is they go back if there's ties and at certain heights and you don't clear a height after your third attempt and you have to go backwards. You have to look at the misses in the previous ones that you clear. So, you know, if you have a clean slate and every single time you're vaulting, you're clearing that height, that adds to your ability to place later on.
Ava Cash successful after passing her first attempt, Jim.
Yeah, she passed at 2.3, went to 2.45. She has a pretty unique way of kind of pommel horsing herself over. She does almost a complete rotation to get over it. So very interesting approach from Ava Cash.
Well, you know, through the years, you've seen a lot of great gymnasts, you know, transform into becoming outstanding pole vaulters. Abby McDonough successful there out of Wesleyan.
Yeah, she had passed earlier again at 2.3, and it's obvious reasons why. She had zero effort getting over 2.45. No effort at all to get over that. That was very easy for her. We do have some other vaulters near the bottom that have actually passed at the next height, which is 2.60. They've actually passed that up. So we've got 4 down at the bottom half of this. There's 13 total vaulters. There's Bridget Knapp. This is her second attempt at 2.45, and she does clear it.
Yeah, she gets it done for the Pioneers.
got her coming here. Just a short approach, a decent plant, and she just barely made it over, but they don't judge you on how barely you make it over the pole. They just make sure that the bar is still intact when you're finished.
So Marquise Burks of Frostburg comes away with the decathlon title, 6,300. Luke Davis out of Concord was second with 5,863. Nate Hulver of Wesleyan, 5,178. Morgan Corwine was fourth. Peyton Slider comes in fifth. Malamo Akita set here at 2.60 meters.
Yeah, she's the first one to attempt this, 8 feet 6 1/4 inches.
And she gets it done. That bar was tingling, Jim,
Yeah,
but
had a little bit of wavering on it, but she got an awful lot of support, and that's one happy vaulter right there.
great job by Akita.
Yeah, you know, Akita had some earlier misses, and then she's kind of rebounded herself. She had a miss at 2.3, did not miss at 2.45, and then a clean jump, a clean vault at 2.60. Here comes Sarah Lowe, her first attempt at 2.60, 8 feet 6 1/4 inches.
Sarah Lowe hit that bar almost kind of straight away, Jim.
Yeah, she kind of hit it going into the bar and didn't get her body cleared off of the release from the pole. You'll see that on this end. You'll probably get a better angle when she comes down. It's very technical. Good plant. The pole's a little bit left or right so much, and that's what causes her to kind of sway away from the ball, and that cost her the height.
Bridget Knapp is up next. Head coaches, while we have a moment, of these 10 great higher institutions of learning. Knapp hits the bar coming down. Mikey Cox guides the programs at Concord. Jason Piles at Davis and Elkins. Ballard Suter at Frostburg. Dan Myers at Glenville State University. Point Parks, Tim Kramer. Nick Bias at UC. Jason Falvo at West Liberty. West Virginia State's young program led by John Boisette. West Virginia Wesleyan College, great tradition there. Jesse Skiles, of course, built a lot of wonderful memories with the Bobcat program before moving on to become Glenville's Director of Athletics. Kelsey Chambers now leads the Bobcats, and Wheeling under the direction of Patrick Stanton. First attempt at 2.60 for Marissa Scott of West Liberty.
By the way, Mark, I don't want to jinx her, but she has not missed yet.
And that will continue, Jim.
The streak will continue for Marissa Scott. 3 in a row, 2.3, 2.45, 2.6. There's a good replay. You see pretty good explosion. She's got good body control coming over it. See how the center of gravity stayed near the pole, was able to release it.
And just how you have to position those hands, and you sort of switch as you go.
Yeah, the grip is really one of the key important parts, but you know, this strength, and it isn't just weight training, it's core training as well.
Reagan Civic is over at 2.0, and then just at the end.
Yeah, like that. Looked like she had that cleared. Maybe perhaps her pole hit it. I'm not sure.
I
Let's
think
take a
it
look at
may
it again.
be what happened.
Yeah, you have to clear off the mat, and your pole cannot. She does clear it.
And there the pole comes down.
And then the pole hits it. Yeah. Probably not something she was looking for, because she cleared that one pretty good. She hadn't had a miss until 2.60. Here's Ava Cash's first attempt.
Cash up and over.
Yeah, Cash has a really good bend now in her pole, where a lot of them don't, but she probably had a former life as a gymnast, so she's pretty fearless about torquing her body in different positions. So she's at a pole that's probably fairly close to her weight. That's how she's able to get the kind of bend when she plants. See that bend there? It allows her to, by nature of this particular event, vault over the bar. Yeah, really kind of surprised that Abby McDonough from Wesleyan decided to continue to vault. Maybe she's just getting warmed up because she's clearing this height 260 with absolutely a foot, at least a foot difference. So maybe she's just trying to get loose for the later rounds. We've got a couple that have already been eliminated, did not clear the minimum height that they start at. Here's Sarah Lowe. This is her second attempt at 2.60.
Well, we were talking earlier, Jim, about, gymnasts becoming pole vaulters, or maybe vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to think of a great WVU athlete in the Hall of Fame, Kristen Quackenbush. She was a late 90s athlete and inducted into the WVU Hall of Fame in 2009. She was out of Whitesboro, New York, as you get another look there.
Yeah, Lowe did it, just drifted to the left off of the pole and didn't get a good release there, and that was her second miss at 2.60. So we have Civic and Lowe and Cash and Knapp are all trying to clear this height, this second attempt for Bridget Knapp from Glenville.
So Quackenbush was a 6-time All-American in gymnastics, and then she decided to take that 5th year of eligibility. She moved from the gym to the track, excelled in the pole vault, became the 7th All-American in WVU history for women's track. She was 4th in the 1998 NCAA Outdoor Championships, finished 10th in the Indoor Championships. So it's easy to say she had a memorable career just across the way at the Coliseum and out on the track here in Morgantown. So Bridget Knapp, second attempt, 2.60.
She can't seem to get her steps right now at this point, and what's going to happen is she's going to run out of time, because it's a time from the time they call your name. You have X number of seconds to make the attempt. So this is her third time around, so it might be a case where if she just can't go, she's just going to have to try her best.
Yeah. Well, that was an awkward landing there.
Yeah, she almost landed in the pit, which that's, again, we talk about that as being a danger. That would be Bridget Knapp's. It's her second miss at 2.60. She just got it in her head right now. She planned.
She almost hesitated there
Yeah.
of even
Yeah.
trying to plant.
She had the plant in the pit, well before she should have.
Civic up again now for Frostburg. Reagan Civic up, and she is over.
Yeah, I think Civic was the one that cleared it the last time, and I think her pole hit it.
Yep.
She didn't have trouble that time. That she's able to get through that one pretty easily. Of course, those misses can come back to haunt you later. Pretty good plant right there. See how to get the bend of the pole.
Yeah, got a nice bend.
Good form there coming over, going over the bar.
Ava Cash from West Liberty.
Yeah, she passed at 2.3, cleared 2.45, missed her first attempt at 2.6.
Cash just a freshman, and great job by the youngster.
Yeah,
And that was about as perfect as we've seen.
Yeah, she's probably got more bend in her pole than anybody that we've seen so far. She really plants it hard. You notice she does a lot more in the runway, in the speed, and she's fearless. She doesn't care how she lands. As long as she gets over the bar.
Sarah Lowe, her third attempt here.
Reach first one there by third baseman.
Yeah, she'll need to clear this if she wants to have any any opportunity of placing in this event. We've already had 2 participants that are out that did not place.
Up and unfortunately low. Thought she was going to get there, Jim, but
Yeah, she was close. So we now have 3 out. It looks like we have one more. We have Bridget Knapp coming up, should be coming up next on her 3rd attempt at 2.0. We have 4 vaulters, Mark, that have already passed at the 2.60 mark.
and Jordan Taylor of Glenville, Clover Stamett of West Virginia Wesleyan, Courtney Hurst of Wheeling, and Kayla McCurry of Wheeling.
Kiela McCurry of Wheeling. Here's Knapp's 3rd attempt, Mark.
And Knapp
And clipped it with
unable
the foot.
to advance.
And we see she comes down, and she was one having step issues before, and she kind of lost her body there on the left side. Instead of going up the verticality of the pole, she was going away from the pole, and that cost her the height that she was looking for. Now they will adjust the pole now.
Malamo Akita of Wesleyan, first attempt at 2.75.
9 feet and a 1/4 inch, in case for those people who don't like to do the calculations in their head. Now, Akita's been on a roll. She missed at 2.3 one time, then she cleared it. Then she cleared 2.45. Then she cleared 2.60. And she's, if you remember, she's got a large contingent of teammates there cheering her on. This is her first attempt at 2.75. Based on what I've seen her from the previous 3 vaults that she's had, this is going to be really close to her. This and 2.9 are probably pretty close to where she's going to be at. And they're checking the heights to make sure they're correct. One of the things that when they set the bar there, you see that they had to do some resetting is you want to have that, excuse me, Mark, you want to have that bar as centered on the post as possible so that nobody gets an advantage. If you have the bar just barely on one side, it could easily sway it off. Which is
Yeah, it had a little bounce to it, didn't it?
Yeah.
All right, here's Akita. Up and a foot catching the bar.
Yeah.
Her first attempt.
Yeah, she's the one we were talking about earlier that she gets a lot of encouragement, but she drags. See how she drags the pole. She doesn't carry the pole. She just drags it on the front end. Obviously, that does slow your speed, and speed is important. I mean, you're talking about being an elite vaulter. You're talking about people that are nearly as fast as 100-meter people. I mean, that's the kind of speed you got to be able to generate to be able to bend that pole.
Marissa Scott ready to go now.
And Marissa from West Lib, the sophomore, she has not missed yet, Martin. I jinxed her.
I wasn't going to say anything, Jim.
Yeah, I see that all those green O's there on the chart, meaning she hasn't missed any at all, which is good. So, you know, you don't want to have misses because they can come back when they're trying to break ties. Let's see what she did. She had her turn was a little bit too early coming into the bar.
Civic now ready to go here.
Yeah, Civic should be at 2.75.
She's up and can't get her first attempt there at 2.75. So Scott, Abby McDonough, Akita,
Here comes Civic.
Civic.
Yeah, here's a replay you see of her. She has pretty good technique, but when she lands, she grazes it going up, getting over, trying to get her legs clear of the bar, and grazed it on the top end.
So Ava Cash, Civic, Akita, McDonough, and Scott all clearing 2.60. Now they're working at 2.75, and here goes Ava Cash. And Cash unable to clear on her first attempt at the new height.
Disappointed with herself there. You're going to see her coming down. She's one of the more longer, using more of the runway than most of them, but you see here how she pulls her center of gravity away from the pole, and it cost her going into the bar.
Time now for Abby McDonough from the home of the Bobcats.
This is her first attempt at 2.75 mark.
Yeah, she's been successful both attempts today.
She did not like her approach.
She passed at 2.30, cleared her first at 2.45, and then her first at 2.60. But reset and do it again, Jim.
Yeah, she just got to be comfortable at it. You don't want to have a miss when you know in your head and confidence that you have that you've cleared this height many times in practice. Just go through the same routine, plan it, stick it.
And you just sort of saw a look on her face that she just wasn't unsure there.
Yeah, she
Wasn't sure.
Yeah, she wasn't. You could tell just in a run when it starts getting into their head, and there's so much technique involved in the vault. I mean, here she is a pretty good, but she just kind of, you can see here that she knew already that she wasn't going to make it. Just kind of didn't even do the landing part. She just kind of pushed it with her foot. Now, this is the first time we've seen Clover Staymat.
Is Staymat one of the ones that passed at the first three, 2.30, 2.45, and 2.60?
She's in a host of group of four girls that all passed at 2.60. Of course, down near the bottom, one of the prohibitive favorites, Kiala McCurry, has passed her way all the way out to 3.20 mark.
Yeah.
So
see, not going to see
we
her
won't
for a
even
while.
We won't see her for a little while.
Let me see where Staymat had passed.
She's in that group with Jordan Taylor, Courtney Hurst, and Kiala McCurry that had all passed at 2.60. So this becomes her first attempt of the afternoon.
Just a freshman from the Buchanan Bay School.
Oh,
Nicely done.
that was too easy. No wonder she passed it. She cleared that one real easy. You could see the plant and the pole and the bend, the great body control. Here she goes. Some of the ones that pass at those shorter distances are the ones that use more of the runway. You see how much she bends it. She wasn't anywhere near the crossbar.
Courtney Hurst, who also passed on our first three heights here, ready to go from Wheeling University. Also just a freshman. Hurst, nice height there, Jim, but hits that bar as she comes down.
Yeah, Hurst's another one of those draggers. See, that she doesn't keep the pole up. She keeps the pole down, but she uses a lot because she has a lot of length and upper body strength. She just clipped it with her leg. She is likely to get this height on her next attempt. This should be Jordan Taylor.
Taylor passing on the first three heights of the day. And Taylor is up and over at 2.75.
See, that becomes important because we know that Hurst missed at 2.75. So if they have to go backwards in ties, you have Taylor with no miss at 2.75 and Hurst with a miss. So that's how they factor in placements. If both vaulters go out at the same height, they move their way backwards from that. Here we see, I believe that's
Malamo Akita.
her second attempt at 2.75.
And Akita up and over.
I'll tell you what, you're talking about a level of exuberance being exhibited there. Akita just happy as a lark to get over that one. It was just all she had on that one because her body was out of position, drifting over there to the right. So she did a nice job of regathering herself, so to speak. Here's Marissa Scott's second attempt from West Liberty, the sophomore at 2.75.
So Civic is back up here for a second attempt at 2.75. And Civic unable to successfully clear.
And she hit it with her legs again. I mean, she's just not getting enough speed. She's a real tall vaulter. That requires a lot of speed. You know, of course, pole length, you know, they select that based not necessarily on their height, but mostly on their weight, what the weight of the pole will bear and bend as it's planted. Hers gets a pretty good bend, but she clipped it with her legs as she was going over it. Save Akash's second attempt at 2.75. And she, again, not happy with herself. She had the height cleared, but did not keep the legs up. You'll see here on this replay, she had a pretty good plant. Everything seemed to be going all right. Good symmetry here with the pole, with the plant. Here's the bend. And you see right there, she clipped it with that right leg. A little disappointed in that for her. She'll rebound here.
So McDonough ready to go. One miss here at 2.75, and she's down to one more opportunity.
And we got a couple in that, actually 2 or 3 in that position right now, Mark. You've got Marissa Scott and Abby McDonough and Reagan Civic and Ava Cash all with 2 misses at 2.75. There she was. She just kind of gave up on that when you noticed she kind of had her legs out there and had no – you got to almost have those feet fairly close together to minimize the chance of hitting the crossbar.
And Courtney Hurst. Oh.
She had it.
She soared, Jim.
She had no trouble clearing it. It was I may have seen the pole. She's another one of those draggers that drags the pole down. So she bends this here. This is good, cleared. She grazed it with her hip. And she shows a little bit of frustration there. She has no trouble clearing the height and has great position going over the bar. She just needs to release that pole just a little bit sooner.
Marissa Scott ready to go to work here. Last opportunity, Jim.
It's her last shot.
Keep moving. And unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Tough break there for Marissa Scott.
She goes out at 2.60. We have several vaulters that have cleared 2.60 mark. So 2, 3, 4 vaulters, 5 vaulters have cleared 2.60.
Civic down to her last opportunity to move forward here in the women's pole vault competition. And Civic up, and unfortunately, that will do it for the young lady from Concord, or Frostburg State, forgive me.
Yeah, you see her. She has a pretty good approach, but gets and kind of almost decelerates as she gets toward the pit and hits the bar with her leg going up.
All right, for West Liberty, this is Cash and tough break there for Ava Cash. So Abby McDonough also trying to survive here, Jim.
Yeah, her third attempt, this would be really big in terms of her placing in this event. This would definitely place her. If she can clear this height, she can place.
Sophomore up and over and extends her day.
On the third and final attempt at 2.75, she was able to clear it. Actually, Mark, with not a lot of effort. I mean,
she had some room.
Yeah, she had plenty of room in terms. She had a good plant, center of gravity there, way over. She probably wishes she could have saved that one for the 2.90 or the even better 3.05 height.
Now Courtney Hurst. Well, she passed on the first three heights, and now here she is needing that one and gets it.
Yeah, she had passed all along and had two failed attempts at 2.75 and was able to get that one on her third and final attempt. Talking about pressure. Well, she didn't have any trouble getting over it. I think she was the one, Mark, that we had trouble with the bar. Her pole hit the bar on one attempt because she's been clearing it pretty easily.
All right, so Malamo Akita is ready to go now. She missed her first attempt at 2.75 before successfully clearing, so now she becomes the first vaulter to go at it here at 2.90.
Yeah, Mark, you think about it being mental. You see 2.60 and 2.75 and 2.90. It's a difference of about 6 inches. Now, 6 inches doesn't seem like a lot, when you're vaulting, but mentally it does make a big difference.
A junior and Akita will hold up.
Didn't like her approach. Her and there's one other vaulter they don't carry the pole all the way to the pit. They will use that front end to drag it, which is certainly legal. You can do that. It does hinder your speed a little bit in terms of you are pushing a pole forward ahead of you, so you can only get a certain speed, a certain top speed.
Akita up and first attempt unsuccessful.
Yeah, it's part of what we was talking about. You're just not right now. You're not looking at when she can't really gain a lot of speed in the fact that she's pushing the pole up the runway. She's just not able to get her body in the position she needed to be, fading off there to the right. This is Abby McDonough's first attempt, mark at 2.90.
And McDonough up and with ease clears it.
She has really good form and technique. She doesn't spend a lot of time on the runway. She also doesn't come at it with full force. She almost kind of decelerates because she's trying to position that pole, get the good bend, to see how she comes straight beside that parallel to the pole. No problem at all covering 2.90. easily.
Mountain East Conference baseball today. Point Park winning over Wheeling 4-0 in Pittsburgh. West Virginia State downing Elkins 2-1. The game played in Elkins. Glenville topping West Virginia Wesleyan 6-2. And these are games of what are Monday doubleheaders. So Clover Staymat ready to go here at 2.90. She's up and just got it.
Yeah, just
And it
clipped
falls.
a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, Clover Staymat, she had a pretty good speed coming down, good pole control, kind of let loose of the pole a little early. She did clear the height for sure, but just kind of clipped it with her legs a little bit. Got to clear that the next time.
All right, Courtney Hurst. She had a little drama last time she approached.
And she gave everybody a big breath. She took a couple of strikes at it and then finally got it on her third attempt.
So first attempt at 2.90, and she says, I'm not going to let that happen again.
We'll just
Let's
we'll
take
just
care
get
of it
through
right
this
now.
one right now, and that way we don't have to keep doing it. You got to understand, people look at it like, well, how hard is it? Well, it is pretty hard. It takes a lot of energy and a great deal of talent and skill to be able to do what these young ladies are doing. She has really good form.
And also, I mean, and the more times you have to do it, it's zapping your energy.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so now it's going to be Glenville State's Jordan Taylor at 2.90. So she passed on 3 heights and now successful at her first attempt at 2.75. She's from Cabell Midland High School, also a member of the Pioneer women's soccer team, and tailor-made as she clears 2.90.
She had no trouble with that one. The thing that could be give her a little bit of fits is that she leads with the feet, how her feet come up. She has a good bend in the pole, but she is keeping her feet close together. If she ever separates them, that could be a recipe for disaster for her.
All right. Akita now ready to go with her second shot here at 2.90. And Akita down now to her final attempt.
Yeah, she hit that one on the way up. She mark is fairly close to what her PR is in terms of this. She's got really good body control, but she just doesn't have enough speed, or she clips that going up. She doesn't use her upper body strength as much as she's trying to use her gymnastic skills to have body control, and it's not paying off for her at this point.
Of course, coming up here on the MEC Digital Network, we'll have running events, starting with the men's 110-meter hurdles at 6 o'clock. Trials in the 400, 100 meters, 800 tonight for the men and women, and a final in the steeplechase. Clover Staymat missed on her first attempt, but not on her second.
Yeah, pretty easily over that one. Good technical vault for Clover Staymat. Seems pretty pleased with her performance at this point. Good speed.
Yeah, good nice
plant.
stride.
And pole bend, she's clearly over that. It's a good 8 to 10 inches. She's pretty comfortable, about 305.
All right, here's Akita needing this one. Got that great cheering section.
One of the more lively and exuberant vaulters.
Akita is up, and unfortunately that will end her meet. But again, great support from her teammates. What really makes track and field, I mean all sports, but certainly track and field, there is a fellowship.
There sure is, and just that camaraderie and cheering them on. And even when she missed on her third attempt, they're there to pick her up and say, hey, great job. You did well, and we're proud of you. She's pretty happy about it. Not probably happy that she missed her third attempt, but happy of her performance today in the vault.
Well, she is a junior, so she'll be back. All right, so Abby McDonough getting set to attempt here at 3.05. She'll be the first to do so.
Yeah, this is the first 10-foot mark for the women. 10-foot even exactly, 3.05 meters. Just imagine vaulting over a basketball court, over a basketball hoop, Mark. That's actually what she's going to attempt on her first attempt at 3.05.
Nice backdrop there, just a beautiful view here high above Milan Park.
We don't want to forget our friend down there at the end of our list,
Yeah.
Kiala McCurry, who's decided, of course, she's senior, been around a long time from Wheeling.
Yeah,
she passed all the way to 3.35. She passed up to 3.20. We're just now on 3.05. So there's 2 more heights before she would even begin to vault.
So McDonough. Just a sophomore. And here she goes. Up and over, Abby McDonough.
Yeah, she got that one. I was a little worried that her pole might drag on her and knock into the bars, but she's got her teammate and she got her entourage around, giving some double high fives. Grab your pole and go on, Abby.
I think the Wesleyan crew, they got reserved seats there.
Yeah, they do. Front row. Yeah, she just barely got that, but she got it. It doesn't matter how much you clear it by, as long as you clear it.
And now her teammate, Stamet.
Yeah, they're placing 8, Mark. We still have 5 more competitors that are in it. So every one of these girls that are here right now have already placed and scored for their teams.
Watching coverage of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships here on the MEC Digital Network. And we are bringing you live coverage here of the women's pole vault. Clover Stamet. First stab at 3.05. And here she goes.
Didn't have enough speed and didn't get the launch that she was looking for on the pole. She didn't even try to get over the bar. I thought her speed was, maybe her steps were just a little bit off. Here she kind of short-stepped herself right before the pit. Didn't like it. Decided to go ahead and commit herself to the miss, which is interesting.
All right, Courtney Hurst. She was down to her last vault at 2.75. She had passed on 3 heights. And she cleared 2.90 easily and just nipping the bar there on her first attempt at 3.05.
Yeah, it looked like she had the height covered. Mark, let's take a look at her replay. Another, what we call a dragger, planting the pole in. I got it on the way up with her left knee area there. Kind of a little bit on the torquing of the body.
So now Jordan Taylor.
110-meter hurdle trials just in a few minutes.
Of course, coming up here on the MEC Digital Network, we'll have running action for you at 6 o'clock, the men's 110-meter hurdles. Here's Jordan Taylor.
And Mark, we talk about, pole and, how important it is to pick the right pole. And, of course, it depends on the weather. And then the other factor is, your strength, your grip, what kind of speed you have. And here's Jordan, who uses a lot of speed.
And Taylor is up and over.
She is. It is wavering, but it did not drop.
Outstanding job by Jordan Taylor at 3.05.
Yeah, that was a big make there at 3:05 with two other competitors that have already missed. She did kind of graze it, but ever so gently.
So Clover Staymat missed on her first shot at 3.05.
Clover's hoping that her pattern holds true where 2.90 she missed and then she made. Here she is at 3:05 where she missed on her first attempt and hoping to clear it on her second attempt.
Just a freshman taking part in her first Mountain East Conference outdoor meet. And Staymat is up and over.
Yep, she liked that one. Actually looking more, trying to be more technical rather than just be reckless about it because she knew she had a third one, but it was a really nice plant from her. Good pole bend there. Good clearance, good body control.
So now Courtney Hurst, her second at 3.05. And Hurst, she's moving on. Well, she's had 3 misses today and 3 makes today, Jim.
And 3 out of 6, batting 500. That'd be multi-millionaire in baseball. Here we see her. She's again one of those people that doesn't hold the pole up, but plants it in the pit. Good job getting over that with her body control. Nice job of that vault by Courtney Hurst. Back to Abby McDonough, her first attempt at 3.20 mark. We moved on up 6 more inches. At 10 feet 6 inches is the next height. We have 5 active vaulters still in it.
Now McDonough started at 2.45, successful in her first attempt. 2.60, she was successful on the first attempt. And then she missed her first 2 attempts at 2.75, but then on her third and final, she survived and moves on. And she was successful on her first attempt at both 2.90 and 3.05. So now she is the first vaulter at 3.20.
After this, we're going straight to hurdles.
All right, so Abby McDonough missing there. All right, we will continue and fill you in on what is happening with the hurdle events. But we are set now, Jim, to move to the running events here at Milan Park. And we're off here in the men's 110 hurdles. This is heat 1. And a pretty impressive start there in the 110-meter hurdles. And there's Kamar Sutherland of Point Park with the win.
Here's pole vault. This looks like Clover.
Clover Staymat And she's up, and boy, just at the very end.
Probably was not happy with that. She thought she cleared the height, and she did, but she's kind of a little bit surprised at herself.
All right, heat 2 in the 110 hurdles. Going to have Gavin Glass, Marquise Burks, Braden Hashman, Massimo Pantano, Roberto Agrisi, Marquise Trainer, Akeem Mustafa, and Julian Grace. Grace's father, John Grace, great Marshall football player back in the day. So Glass from Point Park, Burks from Frostburg. Burks winning the decathlon. Hashman out of Glenville. Pantano of UC. Agrisi from UC. Trainer from Wesleyan. Mustafa from Point Park, and Grace from the University of Charleston. So 3 UC runners here in Heat 2. In the men's 110-meter hurdles.
Courtney Hurst just failed 305.
Courtney Hurst of Wheeling missing at 3:05 in the women's pole vault. Of course, we will go from the 110-meter hurdles to the women's 100-meter hurdles, so we will have the adjustment of the hurdles. We'll get you back to pole vault action as you watch live coverage here of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships. Top 8 from these 2 heats. We'll move on to the finals tomorrow.
We'll take a break after this heat.
Gun sounds.
Tight race there in the middle, Mark.
Pantano and now Agrisi. Agrisi, Pantano, and Hashman from Glenville. So 2 UC runners, 1 and 2, with Agrisi and Pantano. 14.62 seconds for Agrisi as they advance to tomorrow's action. So we'll have the women's 100-meter hurdles coming up. We'll break away here. Return in just a moment. You are watching live Day 2 coverage of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships here on the MEC Digital Network.
Our mission as educators is to help you grow, explore, and achieve your aspirations. When our seniors graduate, they receive more than just a diploma. They leave Wheeling University with clarity, purpose, and the confidence that they need to succeed throughout their career. Exceptional experiences, exciting opportunities, meaningful guidance, and lifelong friendships. This is the foundation and academic excellence we believe in. That's the Wheeling University difference.
For over 4 decades, the health plan is called West Virginia Home. It all started with a vision to serve our community with pride and integrity. We've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming part of its fabric. We've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Because at the health plan, we don't just work here, we live here. Proudly serving West Virginia since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community. The health plan, here for you.
We welcome you back here to Milan Park. Clover Stay mat up and
We're gonna replay it. Don't worry.
hit the bar there on her third and final attempt at 3.20.
In the men's high jump. The bar is at 185. You have Ian Strader of Glenville.
She got it with her legs going up, Mark.
All right, Abby McDonough needs this one, Jim, at 3.20 to keep going. She had three straight clears at 2.75, 2.90, 3.05, and unfortunately not going to be able to advance. And she hits the bar there at 3.20.
But what's important for Abby McDonough, Mark, is that while she goes out at 3.20, she didn't miss at 3.05, and she did not miss at 2.90. So that's really going to bode well in terms of her placing.
Now, she had an interesting day, Jim. She cleared her first attempt at 2.45, first at 2.60, and then had two misses at 2.75 and then got it on the third try. And then she was perfect with her first at 2.90 and 3.05, and then unfortunately the three misses there at 3.20.
Now we've got our third and final attempt
And Clover.
for Clover Staymat.
The freshman. Again, we will get back to running events in just a moment. Women's 100-meter hurdles set to go at 6:15. Keeping everything on schedule. Again, Staymat is at 3.20.
So they know the weight on me there, Mike.
Got her first attempt at 2.75, took two tries at 2.90 and 3.05, and down to the final attempt here at 3.20, and Staymat up, and unfortunately her day is complete.
Came down a little bit awkward, probably a little bit too much over rotation there on the body. She had good speed coming up to the pit and the plant. Pretty good bend in the pole, good concentration there. Got a little bit too soon on the plant. Clipped it with her calf on the way up. Otherwise, she probably would have cleared that.
So now Courtney Hurst is down to her final attempt at 3.20. So Jordan Taylor of Glenville. Taylor at 2.75, 2.90, 3.05, and 3.20. Successful on the first attempt at all four of those heights. And here goes Hurst, trying to stay alive. Up, and unfortunately, it won't happen. So that will move us on to the height of 3.35. And Jordan Taylor, Jim, again, Kella McCurry passing on this height as well.
Yeah, she'll be getting warmed up here in a little bit.
So it's down to basically a two-vaulter show here.
That's what you're down to. Now they go back to place 3 through 8, and they'll be looking at misses here in terms of, okay, what height did they get? And, you know, looking on what I see from this point, probably Abby McDonough would be third. That's that is Kiala McCurry.
All right, we're going to move back over to our running events. And the women's 100-meter hurdles. And in that first heat, you got Jordan Golden, Isabella Stria, Minky Engelbrecht, Zoe McDonald, Marissa Scott, Ayana Woods, Dunya Vanden Toren, and Kendall Dominic. And in lane 4, your winner from West Virginia State University, Zoe McDonald. 14.55 seconds, Jim.
Yeah, she had a little bit of a clip on the second to last hurdle, kind of threw her off rhythm a little bit. Luckily for her, it didn't cost her anything in that race. She was so far ahead. Good rhythm early start for her, for Zoe. Getting a good rhythm in her steps and did a nice job. Just had that one little bit of a mistake. She'll have to clean that up in the finals.
Jordan Golden was second. Minky Engelbrecht was third. Golden from Wesleyan, Engelbrecht from the University of Charleston. Marissa Scott of West Liberty finishes fourth.
There's the one she clipped, the ninth one, and then she ended up clipping a little bit on the 10th, but she runs so close with her drag leg. I mean, she's got one of the most technical drag leg clearances. I mean, it's ever so slightly, which obviously adds to her speed.
Peyton Krafchak, a freshman from the University of Charleston, will be in lane 1. Casey Colcom of Point Park in lane 2. Laura Delgado de Torres in lane 3.
Emma Romer in lane 4. Samantha Cash in lane 5. Cassidy Hammonds in lane 6. Lindsay Simmons in lane 7. And rounding out the competition, Sophie Abraham.
Thank you, Jim, for rescuing me there.
I've been there. I know what feels like in mid.
I got to the third one. I said, "There's no way
you can't finish."
I have 5 more in me.
When he turned off his little mic cue, I said, "I got to jump in there. I got to know what I'm doing here." So
we've set the field here. There's so many great views here too at Milan Park for the running and all the field events.
You got a great crew that's got great camera angles, plus the drone effect, Mark. That was super last night when we were covering the 10,000 meter, and I'm sure we'll see that tonight with the steeplechase. Looks like lane 1 is vacant, Mark. That would be Peyton Krafchak, a freshman. Perhaps pulled out of this one. It appears that all the rest of the lanes have been filled. Your focus would be on Cash or Romer in lanes 4 and 5. Do not count out Delgado de Torres in lane 3 as well.
Gun has been fired. Good clean start. All right, Samantha Cash starting to cruise here, and Cash. One hurdle to go. Samantha Cash will take the victory. 14.87 in Concord's Cassidy Hammonds, Jim. Nice job by Hammonds. And she comes through with the second place finish, and she was in lane 6.
Yeah, a little surprised that Cassidy Hammonds came on. I'll tell you, Emma Romer had a very poor start. Almost, she came up late. Like when they did the set, they say set, and then they shoot the gun. She was very late coming up, and I think she thought maybe perhaps she was going to false start because you don't get another false start. You're just out. You know, once you have one false start, you're out. So that caused her to be over hesitant out of the block. You're going to see this where you can't really see that off of the gun, but she just didn't have a good start. You see already she's behind by half a step, and Cash is running a really good technical race. There she just
love that camera angle.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Stand by, Jim. We're going to run it from we're going to run it from angle 3 here in a second.
Bring you another angle here of this finish in Heat 2 as they clear the track here.
14 of the 15 competitors in the competition.
Our next running event will be the
she's
400 meters.
Really low, really slow getting out of there, and I think it's because she came up late in her set and didn't want a false start, and that lateness coming out of the block really cost her. I mean, you can see there that great job by Hammonds just to kind of close her for Concord, because she did really, really well, especially at the finish line.
So Zoe McDonald, Samantha Cash, Jordan Golden, Cassidy Hammonds, Minky Engelbrecht, Marissa Scott, Emma Romer, and Ayanna Woods. Those will be your 8 competitors in the women's 100 hurdles tomorrow here in Morgantown. We'll break away. We shall return. You're watching live coverage of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships from Milan Park here on the MEC Digital Network.
The people here are fantastic.
My classmates rock.
I haven't met anybody that I don't like here. It is definitely a very diverse university.
My roommates from Sweden, Germany,
Caribbean, so many places.
The academics has been stellar as well.
The professors are very nice here.
Every single person within the classroom feels appreciated. The campus is absolutely beautiful.
Everything's a close, easy walk.
I will recommend this place to everyone.
I feel so at home here.
It's about unlocking your potential and discovering your purpose.
It's about community and how we can better serve others.
It's about learning and doing.
It's about the journey and the road getting there.
It's about opportunities and the endless possibilities.
It's about finding where you belong, and it is here at Concord University.
It's about you, and it starts with you.
Action continuing in the women's pole vault. And Kiala McCurry of Wheeling, successful in her first attempt, 3.35, her first attempt of the day.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in this competition until 3.35. She passed all the way up through that, which is really good. Takes a lot of courage to do that, or a lot of confidence as well, and she has both.
And meanwhile, Jordan Taylor, the only one still in the competition out of Glenville, who was successful at 2.75 on her first try, likewise at 2.90, 3.05, and 3.20 now, Jim. She's down to the last opportunity at 3.35.
Well, she's just grabbed her pole, kind of loosened her arms a little bit, starting to drag the pole back down the runway, and knowing that she really needs to capture this one. But, you know, all in all, Mark, I mean, if she doesn't pass on this, or if she doesn't complete this one successfully, she's going to finish second in the MEC Championship Outdoor Pole event behind Kiala McCurry, who's just a phenomenal senior, been there many, many times before, a seasoned veteran. And let's, bear in mind that Taylor is a freshman. So she's got a promising vaulting career ahead of her. Certainly wants to make sure that she's got all the pieces in place mentally. I'm going through all of the things that she needs to, the form, the grip, the mental state. I need the speed. I don't want the wind. There she comes.
Young lady out of Cabell Midland High School trying to keep things alive here in this first season of competition, but that will be it. But Jordan Taylor, also a member of the Pioneer soccer team, she will be back for many more outdoor track and field championships. She will finish in second place.
I like her competitive spirit. She's just very focused on where she's supposed to be. Got a good plant, came up, just didn't get the launch that she needed off of the pole.
So Kiala McCurry will be your champion, but she's still got a lot of work to do. 3.88 is the record. Again, we got the men's 400 meters coming up momentarily here from Milan Park.
I'm sure the coach Wheeling is talking to McCurry about strategy and where does she want to go. Does she want to make a run at the MEC record?
Again, your coaches for these 10 programs: Mikey Cox at Concord, Jason Piles at Davison Elkins, Ballard Suter at Frostburg, Dan Myers at Glenville, Tim Kramer at Point Park, Nick Bias leads things at the University of Charleston, Jason Falvo, the head coach at West Liberty, West Virginia State. Guided by John Boisette, Kelsey Chambers of West Virginia Wesleyan, and Wheeling's Patrick Stanton. Concord, founded in 1872, Davison Elkins 1904, Frostburg 1898, Glenville 1872, Point Park in 1933, UC, what was then Morris Harvey College, 1888, West Liberty 1837, West Virginia State 1891, Wesleyan 1890, and Wheeling University 1954. So the lane assignments for the men's 400 prelims, and again we will have a couple of heats, and Devon Singleton of West Virginia State will be in lane 1. Aaron Miller of Concord will be in lane 2. Brady Pryor of Concord in lane 3, and Eden Gardner of Concord in lane 4. So 3 Mountain Lions there side by side. To start it out, Christian Reed of Point Park will be in lane 5. Jack Hines of Frostburg will be in lane 6. Carlos Gomez of the University of Charleston will be in lane 8. Drew Pierce of Wheeling will be in lane 8. Singleton is a freshman, Miller a freshman, Pryor a freshman, Gardner a senior, Reed and Hines are sophomores, Gomez a junior, and Pierce is a freshman. We will break away here at Milan Park in Morgantown. You are watching live Day 2 coverage of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships here on the MEC Digital Network.
Davison Elkins College will shape your future through personalized curriculum and career-focused internships. D&E is known for the quality of nurses, business leaders, and teachers we prepare for the field. We're leading the way with pre-professional programs developing the next generation of physical therapists, veterinarians, doctors, and lawyers. Our location makes programs in resource management and outdoor recreation a natural fit, and our roots run deep in theater and film and visual arts. With distinction and excellence, we provide an affordable education designed just for you.
What's possible when you have the freedom to explore things that inspire you? To be a part of a community that supports and challenges you. Where can you go to find the space and time to reach your goals? Who can you become when you're able to make connections in a place where you belong? Find out what's possible at Frostburg State University.
Glenville State University offers cutting-edge programs, small class sizes, and dedicated faculty providing students with a personalized experience focused on their success. With the lowest tuition in the Mountain State, every student has the opportunity to achieve their goals. At Glenville State University, you'll find a community that supports, challenges, and inspires you every step of the way. From hands-on learning in state-of-the-art facilities to internships that connect you with real-world opportunities, we prepare you for the challenges and triumphs of tomorrow. Pioneer your future at Glenville State University.
Trying to find where you fit in the world can be challenging. But then there's a moment where it all comes together. And that moment happens at Point Park University. Career-focused programs converge with a vibrant downtown campus to prepare you for work and life. From experienced professors and internships to culture and job opportunities, you'll get the best of both worlds. Point Park University, where it all comes together.
Launch your healthcare career at West Liberty University. We offer health science degrees in programs like nursing, dental hygiene, speech pathology and audiology, medical lab science, pre-medicine, psychology, biomedical science, or the physician assistant program. Our faculty have the experience to prepare you for a rewarding future. There's never been a better time to prepare for a healthcare career, and there's no better place than West Liberty University. Find out more at westliberty.edu/healthcareers.
All right, the pole vault action continuing for the women. Kiala McCurry ready here now at 3.63 and can't get her first attempt, so she cleared 3.35, which was her first attempt of the day, Jim, and then she passed at 3.50, so now she has moved on to 3.63. See the competitors in the men's 400-meter hurdles, Heat 1. They're continuing to get ready. What a great event, the 400.
Yeah, Mark, bouncing back to the pole vault with McCurry, she, you talk about how much acceleration and how much advancement there has been in the women's pole vault. It didn't actually become an event until the mid-90s, 95, 96. NFHS sanctioned it as a girls' event in high school. And the national record at the end of 97, 98 was 11.3, which already she would have passed that. She passed that event. McCurry did in trying to attempt 11 feet 10 and 3/4 inches. If I'd have to say there's been more acceleration probably in the vault, in women's vault, I mean, that's an understatement because, we have women that are vaulting 14, 15 feet now on the elite level in college. And, of course, the Olympic level, you're up to 15 in the 15s. And McCurry here, she's one of the ones that has all the technical aspects, knows how to use the pole, how to use her body. Great form as she goes. When she hit the last one, she hit it with her feet.
All right, again, the lineup for the men's 400-meter prelims, Heat 1. And Davon Singleton of West Virginia State in lane 1, Aaron Miller in lane 2. See Richard Messenger, one of the great track and field officials, not just here in this area, but across the country. Aaron Miller of Concord, he's a freshman. Singleton's a freshman. Brady Pryor of Concord, a freshman. Ian Gardner in his final MEC outdoor meet, the senior from Concord. Christian Reed, the sophomore from Point Park. Jack Hines of Frostburg State, the sophomore in lane 6. Carlos Gomez is in lane 7. He's a junior. And Drew Pierce, freshman from Wheeling, is in lane 8.
And Mark, the favorite in this, of course, is Ian Gardner, the senior out of Concord, running with the cool shades in lane 4. Can't really see him. He's got his back to us right now. Always wonder about running in shades, kind of sprinting around the track. I'm wondering if at some point they're going to fall off, cause a distraction in your race. There's our man in his shades, Ian Gardner, the senior. He does not want the sun to hit those eyes as he's blazing by his opponents.
Stand in your lanes, please.
Singularly focused on the task at hand. He needs a time. He knows he's running in the best lane in this event. He also knows he's probably one of the prohibitive favorites in this event. So the main thing for him is getting out of the blocks clean and running a clean race. Mark, you'd mentioned earlier Richard Messenger, one of the more elite track officials, not just in the state, and not just in the country, but probably in the world. We have one runner without blocks in lane 6.
It's Jack Hines of Frostburg State, so the gun has been fired.
And you see Gardner's already made up the stagger in lane 5 from Christian Reed from Point Park. Now, it's not just about the staggering leads. You have the staggered leads around the track, but Gardner's running really strong right now.
Great view from high above with our drone shot as they come down the near straightaway, and Gardner at the moment with the lead. And he's joined there by two other teammates, and in fact, it was Brady Pryor.
Yeah, I believe Pryor got third, but he got a little bit tight
second.
there.
Yeah, got second.
Yeah, he a little tight there the last 15, 20 meters, so came in strong coming out of the curve and then kind of bound himself up a little bit, so you have to work on that strategy.
Now Gardner turning in a time of 48.18 seconds to get the win. Brady Pryor was second, Jack Hines was third, Christian Reed was fourth. Pryor from Concord, Hines from Frostburg State. Now Elijah Felser will be in lane 1 in this second heat. As you see, Gardner getting the win, Pryor second.
You're kind of letting up just a little bit of a deceleration there coming across the finish line, Mark. This, as you said, is the prelims into the finals, which will be tomorrow at 1 o'clock will be the men's 400-meter final. We'll get to see whether Ian Garner will maintain lane 4 or will Tyler Mentor have a better time than him. Of course, we've got Livio and then Boehm in there as well.
Elijah Felser will be in lane 1 out of West Liberty. Millar McElray of the University of Charleston, of the University of Charleston, lane 2. Joseph Leo of Wesleyan's in lane 3. Tyler Minter of West Virginia State in lane 4. Joshua Boehm of Wheeling is in lane 5. Justin Dow of Frostburg in lane 6. Miles Symes of West Virginia State in lane 7. Jackson Minter is in lane 8. 2 heats, and this is heat number 2. Felser, McElray, Leveo, Minter, Boehm, Dow, Symes, and Minter.
We do have a full slate of runners in this heat, Mark. All 8 lanes are occupied.
Had one runner
in
our first race that was standing without the blocks. I never thought about that back in the day when I ran. There was all you just you stood. Yeah, there were blocks, but not for the 4, which was then the 440.
Yeah.
Gun fired. Here we go.
Notice how they're hugging the inside of that curve. It saves them some distance as they come out of that and into the straight stretch on the backside. Minter doing a great job right now. I mean, it's his stagger that he's already made up on Boehm from Wheeling. Got to see how they come out of that and see what's left in the tank when they got that last 100 meters to go. Pretty good race there for third coming up on lanes 2 and 3, which would be McElrea and Livio.
So West Virginia State's Tyler Minter will take first. Minter at 48.60 seconds. Joshua Boehm was second, 49.53 seconds. Leveo, 49.72. Kelray was fourth. Justin Dow, fifth. Miles Symes, sixth. Tyler Minter of West Virginia State, 48.60 seconds. Joshua Boehm was second. Leveo of Wesleyan was third.
See Mentor coming down there, Mark, pretty easily, just not having any real difficulty, kind of let his head up and went down there.
So the women's 400 meters set to run here at 6:45. So we will break away here with our coverage and return. And you are watching live Day 2 competition of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships here on the MEC Digital Network.
You have dreams.
A better life, a better job, a better you.
So where do you start to build the skills necessary to get there? At West Virginia State, you are not just a number, you are who you choose to be.
You receive personal attention from award-winning faculty.
You study in nationally recognized programs.
You learn the skills that will get you the job you know you can have. No matter where you want to go
or what you want to do,
it starts at State.
Welcome to your home among the hills. At West Virginia Wesleyan College, you'll unearth new passions, be exposed to fresh perspectives, and find what drives you. This place of discovery is where you can become a scientist, a leader, an athlete, a performer, a friend. Opportunities include research, internships, and study abroad. Plus, our vibrant community makes for experiences you'll never forget. Discover yourself at West Virginia Wesleyan College.
Our mission as educators is to help you grow, explore, and achieve your aspirations. When our seniors graduate, they receive more than just a diploma. They leave Wheeling University with clarity, purpose, and the confidence that they need to succeed throughout their career. Exceptional experiences, exciting opportunities, meaningful guidance, and lifelong friendships. This is the foundation and academic excellence we believe in. That's the Wheeling University difference.
For over 4 decades, the health plan is called West Virginia Home. It all started with a vision to serve our community with pride and integrity. We've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming part of its fabric. We've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Because at the health plan, we don't just work here, we live here. Proudly serving West Virginia since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community, the health plan, here for you.
The people here are fantastic.
My classmates rock.
I haven't met anybody that I don't like here. It is definitely a very diverse university.
My roommates from Sweden, Germany,
Caribbean, so many places.
The academics has been stellar as well.
The professors are very nice here.
Every single person within the classroom feels appreciated. The campus is absolutely beautiful.
Everything's a close, easy walk.
I will recommend this place to everyone.
I feel so at home here.
It's about unlocking your potential and discovering your purpose.
It's about community and how we can better serve others.
It's about learning and doing.
It's about the journey and the road getting there.
It's about opportunities and the endless possibilities.
It's about finding where you belong, and it is here at Concord University.
It's about you, and it starts with you.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our legacy.
Well, the pole vault competition has concluded. Kyle McCurry was the winner. 3.35, and she cleared it. She passed at 3.50 and then missed 3 attempts at 3.63, but she was already the winner. Jordan Taylor of Glenville finishes second. Abby McDonough was third. Clover Staymat of Wesleyan joins her teammate in placing. Out of Wesleyan, she was fourth. Courtney Hurst was fifth. Malamo Akita was sixth. Marissa Scott was seventh. And Reagan Civic of Frostburg was eighth. So again, it's McCurry of Wheeling first, Taylor of Glenville second, McDonough of Wesleyan third, Staymat of Wesleyan fourth, Hurst of Wheeling fifth, Akita of Wesleyan sixth, Scott of West Liberty seventh, and Civic of Frostburg was eighth. Getting set now for the women's 400 meters and heat one. Savannah Cunningham, a junior from Glenville State. Deja Curry Brown of West Virginia State, a sophomore, will be in lane 2. Diamond Rush, a junior from Point Park, will be in lane 3. Maya Clark of University of Charleston in lane 4. Brooklyn Reynolds of West Liberty is in lane 5. Lucy Crow of Frostburg is in lane 6. Hannah Rowan of Glenville is in lane 7. And Trina Lewis of Concord in lane 8. Again, there will be 2 heats.
And all these competitors, Mark, they are in the blocks, of course, no standing ones. The problem with a standing starter is a person that's standing and not using the block is they draw more attention to themselves because they're the lone person standing, so they kind of focus their attention to a person like that.
Gun fired and away we go here. Women's 400 meters. Savannah Cunningham of Glenville. West Virginia State's Deja Simone Curry Brown. Diamond Rush of Point Park. Maya Clark of the University of Charleston. Brooklyn Reynolds of West Liberty. Right now you see Clark there of UC. Lucy Crow of Frostburg. Hannah Rowan of Glenville. And Trina Lewis of Concord. Great shot in the sky as they come around here, and Clark out in front representing the University of Charleston. Maya Clark. And Clark will cross the finish line first. And Clark turning in a time of 56.47 seconds. Diamond Rush of Point Park was second, 57.35.
Yeah, really close race there between second and third. Diamond Rush at a 57.35 and Brooklyn Reynolds from West Lib at 57.42. So both of them kind of almost stride for stride coming across the finish line.
Joe Heinzman, they're one of the great officials in and around the great state of West Virginia.
See Maya Clark taking a nice little breather there.
Nice little,
she finished her 400 meter.
Rest up there. Clark will be in the finals tomorrow. Now we got the second heat coming up here for the women's 400 meters. So we'll have Isabella Torres of Glenville in lane 1, Erica Davis of the University of Charleston in lane 2, Alexandra Pekic of the University of Charleston will be in lane 3, Jamie Preston of West Virginia State will be in lane 4, Jayla Woods of West Virginia State in lane 5, Paige Marnell of Point Park will be in lane 6, Nias Rojas of Point Park will be in lane 7, and Hannah Hill of Glenville will be in lane 8. Torres of Glenville, a junior. Davis of UC, a junior. Pekic of UC, a senior. Preston of State, a sophomore. Jayla Woods of West Virginia State, a freshman. Marnell, a freshman from Point Park. Rojas, a freshman from the Pittsburgh School. And Hannah Hill, a junior from Glenville State. So again, it's Torres in lane 1, Davis in lane 2, Alexandra Pekic in lane 3, Jamie Preston in lane 4, Jayla Woods lane 5, Paige Marnell in lane 6, Rojas in lane 7, Hannah Hill in lane 8. Another clean start.
Always nice to hear that, so you can get these competitors out and get some of those jitters out and just let them run the race. And Preston's already made up the stagger on several of the outside runners right now. Of course, not surprising.
Lane 5, her teammate Woods. You get a really good look there, that drone shot from high above. And lane 4, Jamie Preston. Lane 5, battling her teammate. And Jayla Woods. And Jayla Woods in lane 5. Going to come away victorious, 56.18 seconds. Preston was second at 56.25. Paige Marnell of Point Park finishes third. Pekic of University of Charleston was fourth. Rojas of Point Park fifth. Davis of UC was sixth. Torres of Glenville was seventh. And Hannah Hill was eighth from Glenville State. So we have completed the women's 400 meters. And next up, we will have the 100-meter trials. Another look at the finish, Jim. And lane 5, Woods comes away, just nudging her teammate there, Preston.
Yeah, I think they were just running in tandem there. That's a prelim. We'll see a little bit more of a – it's nice to have a teammate there beside you, but when it comes to the competitive spirit and tomorrow when it counts for the placing and the points, they'll both be gutting it out for however many points they can gather.
All right, men's 100-meter trials coming up. We will break away. 7:05 will be the start of those two heats. You are watching live coverage of Day 2 from Morgantown of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships here on the MEC Digital Network.
Choosing health coverage for your family, your employees, And your company is one of the most important decisions you can make. The health plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. We are here for your family. We are here for your business. We'll be here for you when you need us most, because your health coverage is our priority. The health plan, here for you.
You have dreams.
A better life, a better job, a better you.
So where do you start to build the skills necessary to get there? At West Virginia State, you are not just a number, you are who you choose to be.
You receive personal attention from award-winning faculty.
You study in nationally recognized programs.
You learn the skills that will get you the job you know you can have. No matter where you want to go
or what you want to do,
it starts at State.
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our legacy.
It's about unlocking your potential and discovering your purpose.
It's about community and how we can better serve others.
It's about learning and doing.
It's about the journey and the road getting there.
It's about opportunities and the endless possibilities.
It's about finding where you belong, and it is here at Concord University.
It's about you, and it starts with you.
Davidson Elkins College will shape your future through personalized curriculum and career-focused internships. D&E is known for the quality of nurses, business leaders, and teachers we prepare for the field. We're leading the way with pre-professional programs developing the next generation of physical therapists, veterinarians, doctors, and lawyers. Our location makes programs in resource management and outdoor recreation a natural fit, and our roots run deep in theater and film and visual arts. With distinction and excellence, we provide an affordable education designed just for you.
What's possible when you have the freedom to explore things that inspire you? To be a part of a community that supports and challenges you? Where can you go to find the space and time to reach your goals? Who can you become when you're able to make connections in a place where you belong? Find out what's possible at Frostburg State University.
Glenville State University offers cutting-edge programs, small class sizes, and dedicated faculty providing students with a personalized experience focused on their success. With the lowest tuition in the Mountain State, every student has the opportunity to achieve their goals. At Glenville State University, you'll find a community that supports, challenges, and inspires you every step of the way. From hands-on learning in state-of-the-art facilities to internships that connect you with real-world opportunities, we prepare you for the challenges and triumphs of tomorrow. Pioneer your future at Glenville State University.
Trying to find where you fit in the world can be challenging. But then there's a moment where it all comes together. And that moment happens at Point Park University. Career-focused programs converge with a vibrant downtown campus to prepare you for work and life. From experienced professors and internships to culture and job opportunities, you'll get the best of both worlds. Point Park University, where it all comes together.
Launch your healthcare career at West Liberty University. We offer health science degrees in programs like nursing, dental hygiene, speech pathology and audiology, medical lab science, pre-medicine, psychology, biomedical science, or the physician assistant program. Our faculty have the experience to prepare you for a rewarding future. There's never been a better time to prepare for a healthcare career, and there's no better place than West Liberty University. Find out more at westliberty.edu/healthcareers.
You have dreams.
A better life, a better job, a better you.
So where do you start to build the skills necessary to get there? At West Virginia State, you are not just a number, you are who you choose to be.
You receive personal attention from award-winning faculty.
You study in nationally recognized programs.
You learn the skills that will get you the job you know you can have. No matter where you want to go
or what you want to do,
it starts at State.
Welcome to your home among the hills. At West Virginia Wesleyan College, you'll unearth new passions, be exposed to fresh perspectives, and find what drives you. This place of discovery is where you can become a scientist, a leader, an athlete, a performer, a friend. Opportunities include research, internships, and study abroad. Plus, our vibrant community makes for experiences you'll never forget. Discover yourself at West Virginia Wesleyan College.
Our mission as educators is to help you grow, explore, and achieve your aspirations. When our seniors graduate, they receive more than just a diploma. They leave Wheeling University with clarity, purpose, and the confidence that they need to succeed throughout their career. Exceptional experiences, exciting opportunities, meaningful guidance, and lifelong friendships. This is the foundation and academic excellence we believe in. That's the Wheeling University difference.
For over 4 decades, the health plan is called West Virginia Home. It all started with a vision to serve our community with pride and integrity. We've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming part of its fabric. We've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Because at the health plan, we don't just work here, we live here. Proudly serving West Virginia since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community. The health plan. Here for you.
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our legacy.
We welcome you back inside Milan Park. Beautiful Peak Energy Track and Field Complex. Day 2 coverage of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships here on the MEC Digital Network, getting set for the men's 100-meter trials. And you look at heat number 1, Konami Bryant, a sophomore from West Virginia State. Robert Agreasy from the University of Charleston will be in lane 2. Timber Huseman of the University of Charleston in lane 3. Hunter Patterson will be in lane 4. The sophomore from West Liberty, West Virginia Wesleyan sophomore Tyro Babowell-Throp will be in lane 5. Zachary Parsons, a sophomore from Charleston, in lane 6. Akeem Mustafa of Point Park, a sophomore, in lane 7. And Jaquel St. Louis of West Virginia State will be in lane 8.
Okay, here we go. He's setting the fields here for men's 100.
So getting set here.
Mark meet record in the outdoor for this, set by Aaron Banks back in 2019 at 10.46, and we do have a time turned in this year that is bested that by 5/100ths of a second, and Hunter Patterson has posted a 10:41 earlier this year.
Patterson, an outstanding football player as well at West Liberty, product of Oak Glen High School. Of course, Timber Huseman's the young man from Brussels, Belgium. He has had an outstanding career in a short time. Only started running about 3 to 4 years ago. Jim played rugby since he was 5 years old. And those two will be lined up beside of each other. Lanes 3 and 4, really, you think 3, 4, and 5 with Babowell-Throp of Wesleyan. And it's a good field here for this first heat.
We know, Mark, just in the open 100 how critical the start is for these young runners.
Konami Bryant, Roberto Agreasy, Timber Huseman's, Hunter Patterson, Taiwo Babowell-Throp, Zachary Parsons, Akeem Mustafa, and Jakai St. Louis. I like the backdrop there.
Yeah, it's a great shot down the track.
Yeah, you got the
see
folks that can look down below to see the start.
And we have the best venue of seeing the finish.
And the gun fires. And here we go. Hunter Patterson out in front, and Patterson from West Liberty will take first. And Hunter Patterson blazing down the track at 10.48 seconds. Huseman's was second at 10.67.
Patterson running so strong, Mark. He's just a very powerful and aggressive runner.
Babowell-Throp was third. Parsons of UC was fourth. Konami Bryant. Mustafa was sixth. And we'll get set for the second of our two heats here in the men's 100 meter.
Mark, the way they established the finals, of course, we've talked about this before in the sprint trials like this. You take the first place finisher in each heat, and then the the 6 fastest times will round out the top 8 in the finals.
Roberto Agreasy finished 7th there, so Jakai St. Louis was 8th. And we'll see several of these gentlemen tomorrow. And we'll see what happens here in our second of two heats.
You see Patterson coming down, just really strong runner. Taking a little glimpse over there at the clock.
Jan Ray will be in lane 1 out of Wheeling in this second heat. Massimo Pantano of the University of Charleston will be in lane 2. Royale Salmon of Wesleyan will be in lane 3. Caden Trotter of West Virginia State will be in lane 4. Lucas Anderson of Wesleyan will be in lane 5. Tyrell Brooks of West Virginia State will be in lane 6. And Tim Gutzeit of the University of Charleston, lane 7. Torrance Anthony of West Virginia State will be in lane 8. Gutzeit, the only senior here, and a couple of freshmen, and the rest of the field are sophomores.
A lot of young runners there in the blocks, Mark, getting ready for this second prelim in the 100-meter men's dash.
Ray with the time coming in 10.90. Pantano 10.81. Salmon 10.73. Trotter 10.56. Anderson 10.57. Brooks 10.76. Gutzeit 10.82. And Anthony 10.93.
You saw there earlier, Mark, they were getting in their blocks, getting ready, and we got a hand raise there from Jan Ray from Wheeling. Didn't like something. He could have perhaps had a cramp or didn't have his spikes set securely into the block, or something wasn't right for him, so he asked for a reset. And you can do that.
Many great officials in this meet here over 3 days. Things got started yesterday here at this Peak Energy Track and Field Complex inside Milan Park in Morgantown, not too far from the campus of West Virginia University. Women's 100 meters getting set to unfold next. Time trials. And the gun fired.
Trotter with a great start out of the blocks, Mark.
Yeah, Caden Trotter zooming his way. He was joined there, Lucas Anderson.
You see Anderson probably ended up second there. Looked like he was right on the outside, just
sure
4
was.
100s behind. Very tight race, top 3 or 4 there.
10.73 for Caden Trotter. Lucas Anderson of Wesleyan second, 10.77. Tyrell Brooks, 10.84. That's 1, 2, 3 there. So West Virginia State with a couple of runners there in the top 3 of heat number 2. And coming up after the women's 100-meter trials, you're going to have the 800 meters and then the final in the steeplechase. So after Tyrell Brooks, it was Rael Salmon of Wesleyan, Tim Gutzeit of the University of Charleston, Torrance Anthony of West Virginia State, Massimo Pantano of the University of Charleston, and Jan Ray. Another look at the finish. Caden Trotter victorious there. Oh, that really gives you the idea
It
of
shows
how
you
tight
just
it
how
was.
close it was. You're looking at a half a stride there, Mark.
So that brings us now to the women's, and there are the qualifiers. We'll tell you who those are for tomorrow. So it's going to be Patterson, Huseman's, Throp, Trotter, Anderson, Parsons, Brooks, and Salmon. That will be the top 8 tomorrow and compete for the title in the men's 100 meters. And now we're on to the women's 100-meter trials and heat number 1. And our lane assignments, Kaylin Williamson of Concord, Kaylin Williams, a junior for the Mountain Lions. Frostburg State sophomore Isabella Maestria. And Tia McAllister of West Virginia State will be in lane 3. Colette Patty will be in lane 4, sophomore from the University of Charleston. Diamond Rush, a junior from Point Park. Sierra Lanham, a junior from West Liberty. Lydia Clark, a freshman from the University of Charleston, and Jaden Cover of Glenville State.
And Mark, going back to that men's 100-meter prelims, they had to shave it down to the 1,000th of a second to get the 8th place runner. They had Royal Salmon from Wesleyan at 10.87. Konami Bryant had the 10.87, so they had to roll it back with the FAT fully automatic time to 0.862 versus 0.8675, 1,000ths of a second to determine. And the reality of that is, if you make it into the finals, you place because top 8 are placers and gets points for their teams.
Many times, just inches.
Yeah.
And then some.
Yeah. Very, very, very little margin of error.
Okay, we're going to take one here. Women's 100.
In the top one per heat, advancing, and then the next 6 best times. Moving on.
And well, Mark, one thing that you'll look at, and it kind of you don't see it here, and it's not expected to be here necessarily. You see it more on the world stage. The blocks have sensors and timers in them, which, believe it or not, they know that the human brain cannot react within so many hundredths of a second from the start of a gun. So there are guys that they call jump the start. They try to anticipate when the gun's going to shoot, and they can do that with blocks will have sensors in them, and they'll call a false start on the runner even if the official can't see it.
Lane 5 from Point Park, Diamond Rush. In lane 6 from West Liberty, Sierra Lanham.
Again, 800 meters to follow, and then the one running final of the day, the men's 3K steeplechase and the women's 3K steeplechase. Tomorrow, field events, getting things underway. Men's discus, men's pole vault, women's triple jump, women's discus, women's high jump, women's triple jump, men's triple jump. Running events tomorrow will be the men's 4x1 to get it going. Then the men's 1,500 will follow the women's 4x1. And you'll have the men's 110 hurdles, the women's 100, and then the 400 meters for both the men and women. The 100 meters will be at 115 and 120, and we're getting set here for the women's trials. 800 meters will go at 130, followed by the women. And then the men's 400 hurdles at 150, followed by the women. The men's 200 meters, the women's 200 meters at 210 and 215, respectively. 5,000-meter run at 225 and 250. And then the 4x4 will get it all finished. So here we go. Off here, Colette Patty out in front at the moment. And Patty will win it, and looks like it's going to be McAllister of State finishing second. Patty out of the gates quickly at 11.92.
Yeah, good solid run by Colette Patty. I mean, just you'll see her when we show the replay. I mean, just absolutely no unnecessary movement of the upper body, using the arms in perfect sequence with the rest of her strides. I mean, very good technical runner, Colette Patty is, from University of Charleston.
McAllister again second, 12.30. Sierra Lanham was third. Isabel Mastria was fourth. Diamond Rush fifth. Kaylin Williams was sixth. Lydia Clark seventh. Jaden Cover was eighth. So now we move on to our second of 2 heats as we take a look back at the victory there by University of Charleston's Colette Patty.
And you see her, you don't see any movement at all with the upper, the upper body, the head not bobbing in any way. Just a good technical run from her, very, very smooth.
Had some distance between her competitors, so heat 2 now. Kaylee Davis from West Liberty will be in lane 1. Diana Woods of Wesleyan is in lane 2. Kyra Ross of West Liberty in lane 3. Candace Morris of West Virginia State in lane 4. Zoe Ledette of State is in lane 5. Valerie Boards of Frostburg's in lane 6. Shannon Farrow of Wheeling is in lane 7, and Aaron Collins of Frostburg is in lane 8.
Yeah, Mark, we were talking about that earlier about the false start piece. 1/10 of a second. If you react sooner than that, that's considered a false start, even though the judge may not pick that up. Of course, we don't have that luxury here, but as you move on up through the ranks, you see that in the Olympic trials, of course, and World Championships as well.
Gun fired here. Candace Morris, product of Capital High School, and Morris zooms her way to the victory.
Yeah, really solid run from Candace Morris.
11.88 seconds. Ross of West Liberty was second. Ledette of West Virginia State third. Valerie Boards fourth. Woods of Wesleyan was fifth. Farrow was sixth. Davis was seventh, and Collins eighth. So the men's 800-meter trials will be coming up here. Another look at Morris, a product of Capital High School there in Charleston. Just a sophomore, and already a brilliant career is indeed underway. So the 800 for the men coming up, 7:30 start, and we shall return here to Milan Park in Morgantown. You are watching live Day 2 coverage of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships here on the MEC Digital Network.
Choosing health coverage for your family, your employees, and your company is one of the most important decisions you can make. The health plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. We are here for your family. We are here for your business. We'll be here for you when you need us most, because your health coverage is our priority. The health plan, here for you.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student-athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student-athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student-athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our legacy.
The people here are fantastic.
My classmates rock.
I haven't met anybody that I don't like here. It is definitely a very diverse university.
My roommates from Sweden, Germany,
Caribbean, so many places.
The academics has been stellar as well.
The professors are very nice here.
Every single person within the classroom feels appreciated. The campus is absolutely beautiful.
Everything's a close, easy walk.
I will recommend this place to everyone.
I feel so at home here.
It's about unlocking your potential and discovering your purpose.
It's about community and how we can better serve others.
It's about learning and doing.
It's about the journey and the road getting there.
It's about opportunities and the endless possibilities.
It's about finding where you belong, and it is here at Concord University.
It's about you, and it starts with you.
Davidson Elkins College will shape your future through personalized curriculum and career-focused internships. D&E is known for the quality of nurses, business leaders, and teachers we prepare for the field. We're leading the way with pre-professional programs developing the next generation of physical therapists, veterinarians, doctors, and lawyers. Our location makes programs in resource management and outdoor recreation a natural fit, and our roots run deep in theater and film and visual arts. With distinction and excellence, we provide an affordable education designed just for you.
What's possible when you have the freedom to explore things that inspire you? To be a part of a community that supports and challenges you. Where can you go to find the space and time to reach your goals? Who can you become when you're able to make connections in a place where you belong? Find out what's possible at Frostburg State University.
Glenville State University offers cutting-edge programs, small class sizes, and dedicated faculty providing students with a personalized experience focused on their success. With the lowest tuition in the Mountain State, every student has the opportunity to achieve their goals. At Glenville State University, you'll find a community that supports, challenges, and inspires you every step of the way. From hands-on learning in state-of-the-art facilities to internships that connect you with real-world opportunities, we prepare you for the challenges and triumphs of tomorrow. Pioneer your future at Glenville State University.
Trying to find where you fit in the world can be challenging. But then there's a moment where it all comes together. And that moment happens at Point Park University. Career-focused programs converge with a vibrant downtown campus to prepare you for work and life. From experienced professors and internships to culture and job opportunities, you'll get the best of both worlds. Point Park University, where it all comes together.
Launch your healthcare career at West Liberty University. We offer health science degrees in programs like nursing, dental hygiene, speech pathology and audiology, medical lab science, pre-medicine, psychology, biomedical science, or the physician assistant program. Our faculty have the experience to prepare you for a rewarding future. There's never been a better time to prepare for a healthcare career, and there's no better place than West Liberty University. Find out more at westliberty.edu/healthcareers.
You have dreams.
A better life, a better job, a better you.
So where do you start to build the skills necessary to get there? At West Virginia State, you are not just a number, you are who you choose to be.
You receive personal attention from award-winning faculty.
You study in nationally recognized programs.
You learn the skills that will get you the job you know you can have. No matter where you want to go
or what you want to do,
it starts at State.
Welcome to your home among the hills. At West Virginia Wesleyan College, you'll unearth new passions, be exposed to fresh perspectives, and find what drives you. This place of discovery is where you can become a scientist, a leader, an athlete, a performer, a friend. Opportunities include research, internships, and study abroad. Plus, our vibrant community makes for experiences you'll never forget. Discover yourself at West Virginia Wesleyan College.
Our mission as educators is to help you grow, explore, and achieve your aspirations. When our seniors graduate, they receive more than just a diploma. They leave Wheeling University with clarity, purpose, and the confidence that they need to succeed throughout their career. Exceptional experiences, exciting opportunities, meaningful guidance, and lifelong friendships. This is the foundation and academic excellence we believe in. That's the Wheeling University difference.
For over 4 decades, the health plan is called West Virginia Home. It all started with a vision to serve our community with pride and integrity. We've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming part of its fabric. We've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Because at the health plan, we don't just work here, we live here. Proudly serving West Virginia since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community, the health plan. Here for you.
legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our legacy.
Beautiful evening here in Morgantown. Peak Energy Track and Field Complex at Milan Park, getting you set now for the 800 meters. And we'll have 2 heats, and the top 8 will move on to tomorrow's finals. And in heat number 1, Tommy Bildheiser, a junior from Davison Elkins, joined by Davison Elkins teammate Jackson Gibson, a senior. Oscar Rayner, a freshman from the University of Charleston. Frostburg sophomore Isaiah Stewart. Ryan Rasco, a senior from Davison Elkins. 2 freshmen from Point Park, Chase Bowen and Emil Raphael. And Matthew O'Shea, a freshman from Charleston. Jim, grueling event.
Yeah, 2 laps. You got the brake line over there. The best time turned in from this particular heat comes from Ryan Rasco, Davison Elkins. 153.31, Mark. We see notably missing from this event is somebody that is one of the most elite 800 runners in the country, and we're off our 2 laps. We are off and running.
Yeah, fired that gun and get some good views from high above of this race as well. And it's just kind of a race, Jim. It's just gut check.
Yeah, it's really, they used to kind of middle distance run, but now not anymore. It's almost basically a sprint. If you think about guys running, sub 2 minute for the 800, that means they're running sub 60 quarters. And anybody that knows track knows that that's a grueling time to turn in.
Yeah, Rasco in the lead at the moment. We have a moment, Jim, that women's 100 meters. Candace Morris had the best time. Colette Patty finished second. Kyara Ross, third, best time. Zoe Ledette and Tia McAllister, Sierra Lanham, Valerie Boards, and Ayanna Woods. That will make up the 8 tomorrow. So here's our splits, Jim, after that first 400 meters.
Yeah, pretty quick first split for Ryan Rasco. 55-55, that's really coming in there pretty good. If you can keep that kind of pace, you're going to run around a 150, and I don't think they can keep that, although they're going to be pushed here coming down on this back curve to see who's got what left in the tank.
Rasco has looked good from the outset of this race.
He's going to get a push here with this last 100 meters to go. Let's see what kind of kick Rasco has.
And Jackson Gibson, his teammate, they battle daily there in the beautiful town of Elkins. Rasco going to be able to fend off his teammate and get the victory in the opening heat of the men's 800 meters. So Ryan Rasco at 1 minute 53.55 seconds. Jackson Gibson was second, 153.75. University of Charleston, Matthew O'Shea taking third, 153.94. Oscar Rayner was fourth from the University of Charleston, right there at 154.42. Chase Bowen of Point Park, Raphael Point Park, 5 and 6 respectively. Stewart from Frostburg was 7. Bildheiser of D&E was 8th. Good race.
Yeah, good job. Rasco running 153. He has run a 153.31 this year, and of course this time 153.5. So from start to finish, he had held off any of the other competitors. Of course, we see Jackson Gibson there second from D&E. He shaved off about 2.5 seconds from his best time of the year.
All right, so we're ready for heat number 2. Joshua Maurer of Point Park, freshman. Skylar Hudnall, West Virginia State, a freshman. Ethan Board, a senior from Concord. Magnus Polkner, freshman from Wheeling. Shane Levesque of Wheeling. Cooper Gibson of Davis and Elkins. Francis Toohey of West Liberty. And Slate Swiger of Davis and Elkins. Those are your 8 in heat number 2 here of the men's 800 meters. Gun fired. Another clean start here at Milan Park.
And Mark, they don't mess around with the start in the men's 800. They're not blocks to deal with. They're just standing there. So when they get up there and get to their mark, it's set and then the gun. It's a little bit quicker. They don't hold the set as long as they do in the sprints.
Mentioned Sam Idian's not competing in the 800, owns the record. 1 minute 49.36 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, to get it in perspective, when we look at the best times that's been turned in this year in the outdoor competition, the fastest time this year turned in from the runners that are competing, Ron Rasko from D&E, 1:53.31. That's a good full about 4 seconds behind Samuel Idians from University of Charleston.
Bell lap. Our split time, Swiger 54.64 seconds.
Yeah, Swiger really came out really strong. I don't know whether he's going to be able to hold this. Looks like they're getting ready to pass him on the backstretch.
In women's 800-meter trials, still to come. Ethan Board there of Concord with the bib number of 65. It's going to be a good one, Jim. I've got a feeling it's going to be a good one. They are all tight there.
You're going to see which one has the best kick coming down. Looks like right now we're looking at Toohey.
Yeah, Toohey from West Liberty, the junior. Toohey trying to stretch it out here, and he will. And I believe Board got second.
Yeah, that was a really tight race with that group.
All right, so Toohey at 1:53.72 finishes in first here. Polkner of Wheeling got second. And Ethan Board was third, so good job there at the end by Polkner of Wheeling. Hudnall was fourth out of West Virginia State.
Skylar Hudnall, that freshman Mark, excuse me, he's going to learn from this. He was on the outside with really closing fast, had a really good kick. If he would have started his kick perhaps 5 to 10 seconds a little bit sooner, you're going to see him on the outside. It's kind of a little bit harder to see. Here he comes on the outside, and you see Toohey is able to hold them off, but you see sneaking in there is Hudnall. He popped to the outside, but he got kind of pinned in halfway down, and he ran out of real estate. So that ended up costing him, but he was really coming on strong in the last 30 or 40 meters.
Yeah, great job. And we will come back. We'll have the women's 800 meters coming up here, set to go at 7:45. You're watching live Day 2 coverage of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships here on the MEC Digital Network.
Choosing health coverage for your family, your employees, and your company is one of the most important decisions you can make. The health plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. We are here for your family. We are here for your business. We'll be here for you when you need us most, because your health coverage is our priority. The health plan, here for you.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student-athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student-athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student-athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our legacy.
The people here are fantastic.
My classmates rock.
I haven't met anybody that I don't like here. It is definitely a very diverse university.
My roommates from Sweden, Germany,
Caribbean, so many places.
The academics has been stellar as well.
The professors are very nice here.
Every single person within the classroom feels appreciated. The campus is absolutely beautiful.
Everything's a close, easy walk.
I will recommend this place to everyone.
I feel so at home here.
What are you working for? Do you want to pursue your athletic potential while earning a degree that will benefit you for a lifetime? Do you want to play at the highest level in your sport? Do you want to be a champion? That's what the proud members of the Mountain East Conference are advancing toward every day. Providing opportunities and pursuing excellence. The Mountain East Conference.
Launch your healthcare career at West Liberty University. We offer health science degrees in programs like nursing, dental hygiene, speech pathology and audiology, medical lab science, pre-medicine, psychology, biomedical science, or the physician assistant program. Our faculty have the experience to prepare you for a rewarding future. There's never been a better time to prepare for a healthcare career, and there's no better place than West Liberty University. Find out more at westliberty.edu/healthcareers.
We welcome you back here to Milan Park in Morgantown as our coverage of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Track and Field Championships rolling on here, getting set for the prelims now of the women's 800 meters. Caroline Fodor owns the record, 2 minutes, 16.86 seconds. Set that back on May 2nd, 2023. Caroline Fodor is the daughter of former Marshall quarterback great Carl Fodor, who grew up in Weir, West Virginia. Caroline was a runner for Wheeling. Had a chance to visit with Carl on a couple of occasions during Mountain East Conference competition. Very proud of his daughter, and still a record holder here in the MEC.
Mark, you talked about that time, that 2:16.86, about Caroline Fodor. We have 4 runners in this women's 800 prelim that have surpassed that. I mean, not just barely surpassed it, really the best time of anybody turned in this year in the women's 800. Beth Sykes from University of Charleston, 2:12.13, which is a good 4 seconds ahead of Fodor's time. We also have 3 other runners that have eclipsed that MEC outdoor record. That doesn't mean, just because they did it, that it stands to reason. They have to do it here at the championships. You have Jana Schmid from Point Park, 2:16.61. Lauren Twyman from D&E, 2:15.48. And Natalie Barr from Glenville State University, 2:16.09.
Beth Sykes out of Birmingham, England. She has been terrific in her career at UC. So here is the lineup. Alina Bichek of Point Park, a junior, will be out on the track in the first heat of the women's 800 meters. Davison Elkins is Tatum Walls, Amanda Ferrante of the University of Charleston. Bichek's a junior, Walls a sophomore, Ferrante a freshman, Emily Wallace a senior from Concord. On the track in this first heat, Trinity Charles, a freshman from State. Beth Sykes, a junior out of Charleston. Dakota Johnson, a junior from Wesleyan. And Janice Schmid of Point Park, a junior.
Mark, the two best times turned in. Actually, there's Sykes at 2:12 and Schmidt at 2:16, but there are also two other competitors that are really close. Emily Wallace from Concord, the senior, at 2:17.71, and Dakota Johnson out of West Virginia Wesleyan at 2:17.61. So this ought to be a really interesting first heat in the women's 800-meter preliminaries.
In lane 6 from the University of Charleston, Beth Sykes.
We don't want to blink too much. They'll get the runners lined up in their lane. There's the break line after they come out of the curve after the first 100 meter, and then they'll settle in. There's a lot of race strategy involved in this 800. We saw earlier one of the state runners got pinned in early there on that home stretch of the last 50, 60 meters. Perhaps could have cost him. So race strategy, figuring out where your teammate is. It helps if you've got teammates out there running with you. And in this particular race, we do have 2 Point Park runners, 2 University of Charleston runners as well, so those teammates can help each other out as this race progresses.
Beth Sykes, Jim, again, Birmingham, England.
She's a long way from home.
Yes, she is, and she has been ranked in a lot of different events in her career, both indoor and outdoor. She's a 2024 NCAA Division II cross-country individual qualifier, finished in the top 100 in that great event. And so Sykes looking for a victory here in the first of 2 heats in the women's 800 meters. Great shots with our drone.
She's settled in back there near the middle of the pack, trying to stay out of any trouble. 57. That's what we're looking at. Beth Sykes from the University of Charleston. She'll work her way up. She does not like to run on the inside. She likes to stay on the outside shoulder as long as possible.
Brian Shepard is our producer. Director Levi Barnhart on cameras. Parker Withrow, Andrew Bolin, Butch Mounts, and our drone pilot is Shane Cobb. Butch Mounts, the executive producer of our coverage of this 2025 Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships. Video Productions producing our coverage in conjunction with the Mountain East Conference. So Beth Sykes is your leader at the moment.
A really solid race by her right now. She's not really pushing the tempo. She's just trying to keep her position where she is. Those splits coming in at 107 for Sykes, 108 for Schmid, 109 for Wallace. So they're kind of starting to spread out a little bit. You still have a pack of 6 runners there with roughly 220, 30 meters to go. So Sykes doesn't look like she's laboring too much. Just kind of looks like she's focused on what she needs to do. She's trying to stretch it out here a little bit. Coming out of the last curve into the last 100 meters to go.
Beth Sykes. We're going to try to
she's going to get a little pressure
fend off
here.
the competition here as we come down this front straightaway here. And Schmid right on the heels of Sykes. Sykes will take it. Good run by Beth Sykes, 2:16.63. Schmid was second. Dakota Johnson was third. Ferrante was fourth. Nick Bias there to congratulate his runners.
If that prelim time holds up for Beth Syke, Mark, that would be an MEC outdoor record. But we still have another heat to go.
Number 2, lane number 1.
Another look at the finish. Sykes and Schmid out of Point Park. Sykes from the University of Charleston. So Alan Lucio is out on the track. Cameron Wheeler of Davis and Elkins. Lucio is from Point Park, a senior. Cameron Wheeler, Davis and Elkins is a sophomore. Abby Bolton, a freshman from Charleston. Emma Jenkins of Concord. Marina Barahona of Charleston. Raina Headley of West Virginia Wesleyan. Laura Twyman of D&E. And Natalie Barr of Glenville State.
Mark, the best time turned in this heat based on this year is Lauren Twyman from D&E at 2:15.48. So you'll need to keep a focus on her number. It's 1:36. She's out there in lane 7 right now.
Good look as they're all tightly bunched here early on.
Yeah, Allison Placio from Point Park right now with the early lead as they're coming around the first lap, hitting into the home stretch of the first lap. So with a pretty comfortable lead right now for Placio. Running pretty smoothly. And then coming up trying to make her move right now is Lauren Twyman with no surprise there. I'm going to take a look at these splits. Placio at 106.51, Twyman at 107.05, Barr at 107.21, Headley 107.86. As you said, Mark, very tight there in that first of 2 laps. Now we get a little bit of a stretch out there from Placio and Twyman staying right with her.
Placio, a senior, trying to make this final outdoor track and field championship meet in the Mountain East Conference count. Got a good start and now trying to finish.
Well, she's on the outside shoulder and wonder when she's going to try to make her move, where they're coming out of the curve. Here they come. Let's see if Twyman's got anything, and she does.
She does. Twyman passing up Placio, and it will be Davison Elkins Jr., Lauren Twyman, taking heat number 2 of the women's 800 meters. Nice race.
Yeah, really kind of let up the last few, 2:15.81 in an unofficial time for her. Of course, that's more than a second better than the best MEC outdoor record by Caroline Fodor, set back May 2nd of 2023. It's going to really be a good competitive 800 final tomorrow, Mark.
Oh, no doubt about it, Jim. So there's a look at the winner, Lauren Twyman. And Jim, we're ready for now. We've watched trials unfold here. Now it's time for a final, and we're going to have that in the steeplechase coming up here. The men's 300 meters set to go at 8 o'clock, and we will return here to Milan Park in Morgantown. You're watching live coverage on day 2 of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships on the MEC Digital Network.
The people here are fantastic.
My classmates rock.
I haven't met anybody that I don't like here. It is definitely a very diverse university.
My roommates from Sweden, Germany,
Caribbean, so many places.
The academics has been stellar as well.
The professors are very nice here.
Every single person within the classroom feels appreciated. The campus is absolutely beautiful.
Everything's a close, easy walk.
I will recommend this place to everyone.
I feel so at home here.
What are you working for? Do you want to pursue your athletic potential while earning a degree that will benefit you for a lifetime? Do you want to play at the highest level in your sport? Do you want to be a champion? That's what the proud members of the Mountain East Conference are advancing toward every day. Providing opportunities and pursuing excellence. The Mountain East Conference.
Launch your healthcare career at West Liberty University. We offer health science degrees in programs like nursing, dental hygiene, speech pathology and audiology, medical lab science, pre-medicine, psychology, biomedical science, or the physician assistant program. Our faculty have the experience to prepare you for a rewarding future. There's never been a better time to prepare for a healthcare career, and there's no better place than West Liberty University. Find out more at westliberty.edu/healthcareers.
Choosing health coverage for your family, your employees, and your company is one of the most important decisions you can make. The health plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. We are here for your family. We are here for your business. We'll be here for you when you need us most, because your health coverage is our priority. The health plan, here for you.
What's possible when you have the freedom to explore things that inspire you? To be a part of a community that supports and challenges you? Where can you go to find the space and time to reach your goals? Who can you become when you're able to make connections in a place where you belong? Find out what's possible at Frostburg State University.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Well, we are getting set momentarily for our first running final on this second evening of the Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships. Another look here, Jim, at the final of the second heat of the women's 800 meters. Nice job by Davison Elkins' Lauren Twyman, edging out Allison Placio there for the victory.
Yeah.
So it's now time for the steeplechase coming up here shortly, set to start at 8 o'clock. The men's will unfold first, then it will be the women's 3,000-meter steeplechase. And, well, Jim, it's an event. We talk about the different events in track and field. And, of course, a lot of places you don't see that on the high school level, but the collegiate level, and it is unique and then some.
Yeah, the thing that makes this so unique is you have, first of all, you have a combination of your jumping ability, plus your endurance, plus your strength, plus the strategy, and then you have to contend with water.
Can you swim?
On its deepest end, right over the water jumps, there are 7 of them, of course, by the way. And the water pits, it's 12 feet long, so they're not expected to clear the whole distance of the water. So most of these hurdlers, steeplechase runners, they're going to land in the water somewhere. So you always had that opportunity or chance that you could turn an ankle. You're going to run in wet shoes and wet gear. So you're looking at 7.5 laps, 28 fixed barriers. And when I say fixed barriers, they're not hurdles that if you clip them, they're going to fall over. They do not fall over. They're fixed. If you hit them, you will fall. You will not fall on that. There's a good example of a fixed barrier that's not going anywhere. So you have 28 of those fixed barriers they have to clear. And one of the things that we talk about a lot is, what's a good time at this level? Well, at this level in D1 and D2, if you have a really strong time anywhere between 8:45 and 9:10, that's a really good time in D1 and D2. And we have a couple of runners that are right in that neighborhood. Jonathan Norton from Wesleyan at 9:12, Yannick Windelband from Point Park at 9:14. So those guys are right there on the cusp of having some really strong competitive times in the men's 3,000-meter steeplechase.
All right, so the field of 16 will feature Nick Pitchford, a freshman from Glenville, Gage Osborne, a sophomore from Frostburg State, Brandon Stein, a junior from Frostburg, Griffin Thomas, a sophomore out of West Virginia Wesleyan. He'll be joined along with teammates Elijah Haining and Jonathan Norton. Haining is a senior. Norton is a junior. A.J. Skeens, sophomore from Concord. Yannick Windelbrand, a senior from Point Park. Also, the field will consist of Paul Langoff, a sophomore from Davis and Elkins. Concord's Andrew Tickle. Anthony Sanders from West Virginia Wesleyan, a junior. Freshman out of Point Park, Albin Petschauer, a freshman from Glenville. Jackson Mallett. Braden Ward, a sophomore from Concord. Eric Nygaard, a freshman from the University of Charleston, and Connor Allison, a junior from Davis and Elkins.
And, Mark, I'll mention, some of the things that, these guys none of these guys did this in high school. This is not a high school event, obviously. It rears its head in college. There they are trying to get the adjusted height correct on this, what they call a permanent barrier. You can see why. It's very heavy. And one of the common mistakes that the steeple runners will run into is that they will over jump the barrier, like they think they got to clear this whole distance, and what they end up doing is wasting a lot of energy to do that. You're not going to clear the whole 12 feet. Just consider yourself that you're going to get your foot wet. You know this is going to happen. Let's just move on from there. Another thing they do is, on the water jumps, they underestimate because they are tricky and they do involve some the technical aspects to them. And the third part of this that a lot of, I don't want to say coaches coach this, but runners don't really like to practice this. Try to get the hurdler or the runner, the steeplechase runner, as tired as possible, and then make them run hurdles.
Yeah,
I mean, people don't. You're trying to practice hurdling while you're fatigued. You don't want to do that. And the reason, sometimes you don't want to do that because it's dangerous. First of all, it's dangerous. I mean, when you're trying to hurdle and you're fatigued, you don't have your form, you don't have your energy. And then probably the last thing I would think is, there is so much endurance and mental toughness that comes in to this race because you're running, you're jumping, you're sprinting, and you have a tactical race and a strategic race all within itself, all involving hurdles and water. I mean, it's very unique. It's a very unique event.
Recapping some of the other action that has unfolded on this Monday men's shot put. Isaac Tavo of West Liberty was the winner. The women's shot put won by Janae Scott of Glenville. The women's long jump, Kyara Ross of West Liberty. The women's pole vault, Kim McCurry was the winner. Men's high jump, and it has finished. And I believe it was Jamal Monchivetti of West Liberty, and the men's long jump is continuing as we speak.
7.5 laps, Mark, around this facility, including the 28 fixed barriers and 7 water jumps along the way. What you don't want to do, the worst mistake you can make, is go out like a rocket and you will have no legs left to finish the race. So you see these guys are very methodical. You saw a little bit of a bump there. Top 2 runners. There you had Jonathan Norton there from West Virginia Wesleyan working on the outside there.
Nick Pitchford, young man who starred at Buffalo High School, helped lead the Bison to a state championship with a split of 37.99.
We see Pitchford coming over the second of the fixed barriers, followed by Jonathan Norton, which is not surprised. They're going over their first water. There's their first water jump.
And you see if you can get really just as far out as you can. Again, there's really not going to be much denying that you're going to hit it. I remember 2 years ago we were doing the meet in Frostburg, Maryland, and it was a chilly, chilly evening in May. We felt, because once you hit that water, then you got many laps to go, and you're running a tire, covering those feet, they are soaked.
Yeah, hard to get that leg up when you're trying to finish the last 3,000 meters. But the thing about it, we didn't talk about the depth of it. Of course, the deepest part of the steeplechase is 70 centimeters. That's about 28 inches deep, about a little over 2 feet. So, if you're one that just barely gets over that water barrier, you're going to have a lot of water to contend with.
There's our splits again, Jim.
Yeah, not surprising. You've got Pitchford out there. He has a solid time. You have Norton, who has another solid time at 9:12 this year. That Yannick Windelband from Point Park at 9:14, another solid time. There's their second water jump. Seven times they're going to have to go over those jumps. That's 2 of them, and I guarantee you in their head they're counting that.
Pitchford looking good at the moment.
Yeah, really, really strong right now. You don't want to lose your hurdle form, and I know you start getting tired. Here they are. Some of the guys are you end up wasting a lot of energy if you're not having decent form going over the hurdles. Easier said than done, of course. You see there, Mark, a little bit of him. Nick Pitchford, he almost lost his balance on the inside of the track. Very unusual on that backstretch. It takes immense concentration in this event. One misstep and you're down. Here comes their third water jump.
Griffin Thomas, Elijah Hanning, and Jonathan Norton are all there on the track from Wesleyan, along with Anthony Sanders. And new leader now here in this men's 3,000 meter steeplechase as Jonathan Norton takes over first.
Yeah, your top 4 rounding it out. Connor Allison from D&E, the junior, he's moved in to the 4th spot. You see him there on that drone shot. He's in the red tank top there in 4th place. A little bit of a shove there from Pitchford into Windelband from Point Park.
Well, what can we say about our drone coverage, Jim?
Exceptional. Exceptional.
And Pitchford has dropped back a bit, and in second at the moment is Windelband from Point Park. job in the water.
And you'll notice this one is the one that they will use. They will use the top of the hurdle to launch themselves. They do not want to hurdle that because it's just too deep on the other side. Now here they just trying to, at this point, you know, when you're 4 laps to go, your legs are getting a little heavy, starting to set in, your feet are wet. You know, you just want to get over the hurdle. You just don't want to clip any hurdles, you know, because we talked about them being fixed. They will not move. You will fall.
4 laps to go. Pardon me, Jim.
Go ahead. Norton looking really strong, Mark. He has a great time. He's turned in actually the fastest time of any of the field of 16 runners. His best time this year was 9:12.69. Very solid time for him. It's quite off the MEC outdoor record, but he's stretched out of probably about a 3.5 second lead right now.
When we talk about all the gut check moments of athletics and track and field, and certainly this event right here, water time again for the Wesleyan runner, Jonathan Norton.
Yeah, Mark, if you can mark this, it's kind of interesting when you see him do the water jump on the first jump. They're almost nearly out of the water. By the time they get to their 4th jump, they're kind of a third of the way into the water. And by the time they finish, they'll be even a little bit further. I mean, it just the fatigue factor is immense in this race. It takes a great deal of mental ability and, of course, the great skill. And these guys got to put in 80, 90 miles a week to be able to do something like this.
Imagine the first time you ever did it. Your first practice where, like, okay, today
we're going to do the steeple.
You're going to go through it all.
Yeah, going to do it all.
Because there was work, there was build up to it, you know, all the different drills that you're going to go through, the running mechanisms and all the things that you're going to have to do as an athlete, you know, with the distance and getting the endurance down. And then, you know, then you begin working on your jumps. And then obviously at some point you got to deal with what Norton is about to conquer right there, the splash in the water.
Found himself near the middle of the splash. Early on in the race, he was almost out of the water pit. You know, they only had about a foot and a half to clear the water, but the fatigue and the mental part, it's so important.
Well, he is stretched out.
Yeah, he's gotten stronger as this race has went on. I mean, which you see now here, you're hearing, I believe, a bell lap.
Yeah, that's music to anyone's ears, certainly in this event.
And the other music is bell lap. It means no water. He's already done his 7 jumps over the water barrier, and now just the fixed ones left. Just got to be careful that he doesn't have a mishap here on one of these fixed barriers on the backstretch.
Wendell Band second. Pitchford at 6th right now. He led early on. And Jonathan Norton.
Yeah, looking pretty smooth here, Mark.
Norton was
so once you go off,
right there with
around the curve when you go off,
Pitchford, and he took over, and he's been in front ever since. A junior out of Buckhannon-based West Virginia Wesleyan came in with a time of 9:12.69 seconds. Jonathan Norton. And there it is, your 2025 Mountain East Conference men's 3,000-meter steeplechase winner, Jonathan Norton. Wendell Band of Point Park will come across the finish line and take second. And the great sportsmanship to follow. Anthony Sanders, another Wesleyan Bobcat, so pair of Wesleyan runners in the top 3. A.J. Skeens of Concord takes 4th. Braden Ward, Concord teammate, 5th.
Yeah, really grueling racer. You see Norton getting congratulated by his teammate and telling him how proud they are of him, pumped up and excited. It didn't look like he finished 5,000 meters, Mark, with He's just kind of getting him a glass of some liquid hydration there. He's ready to go again.
So the men's 3,000-meter steeplechase has come to a close. Few still out on the track. Women's 3,000-meter steeplechase will follow, and then that will conclude day 2 of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships, and then we are set for a big day number 3 here at the Peak Energy Track and Field Complex inside Milan Park here in Morgantown, West Virginia. Great venue for this wonderful event. Big week in the Mountain East Conference. Softball tournament taking place in Salem, Virginia. Tennis championships unfolding in the state capital city of Charleston. And on a glorious evening here, Jonathan Norton of West Virginia Wesleyan is your winner of the men's 3,000-meter steeplechase. Women set for their competition in just a few. 8:30 is the scheduled start time for that race. We'll break away here and return to Milan Park for our final competition of the evening. You are watching live Day 2 coverage of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships here on the MEC Digital Network.
For over 4 decades, the health plan is called West Virginia Home. It all started with a vision to serve our community with pride and integrity. We've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming part of its fabric. We've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Because at the health plan, we don't just work here, we live here. Proudly serving West Virginia since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community, the health plan. Here for you.
The people here are fantastic.
My classmates rock.
I haven't met anybody that I don't like here. It is definitely a very diverse university.
My roommates from Sweden, Germany,
Caribbean, so many places.
The academics has been stellar as well.
The professors are very nice here.
Every single person within the classroom feels appreciated. The campus is absolutely beautiful.
Everything's a close, easy walk.
I will recommend this place to everyone.
I feel so at home here.
It's about unlocking your potential and discovering your purpose.
It's about community and how we can better serve others.
It's about learning and doing.
It's about the journey and the road getting there.
It's about opportunities and the endless possibilities.
It's about finding where you belong, and it is here at Concord University.
It's about you, and it starts with you.
Davis & Elkins College will shape your future through personalized curriculum and career-focused internships. D&E is known for the quality of nurses, business leaders, and teachers we prepare for the field. We're leading the way with pre-professional programs developing the next generation of physical therapists, veterinarians, doctors, and lawyers. Our location makes programs in resource management and outdoor recreation a natural fit, and our roots run deep in theater and film and visual arts. With distinction and excellence, we provide an affordable education designed just for you.
What's possible when you have the freedom to explore things that inspire you? To be a part of a community that supports and challenges you? Where can you go to find the space and time to reach your goals? Who can you become when you're able to make connections in a place where you belong? Find out what's possible at Frostburg State University.
Glenville State University offers cutting-edge programs, small class sizes, and dedicated faculty providing students with a personalized experience focused on their success. With the lowest tuition in the Mountain State, every student has the opportunity to achieve their goals. At Glenville State University, you'll find a community that supports, challenges, and inspires you every step of the way. From hands-on learning in state-of-the-art facilities to internships that connect you with real-world opportunities, we prepare you for the challenges and triumphs of tomorrow. Pioneer your future at Glenville State University.
Trying to find where you fit in the world can be challenging. But then there's a moment where it all comes together. And that moment happens at Point Park University. Career-focused programs converge with a vibrant downtown campus to prepare you for work and life. From experienced professors and internships to culture and job opportunities, you'll get the best of both worlds. Point Park University, where it all comes together.
Launch your healthcare career at West Liberty University. We offer health science degrees in programs like nursing, dental hygiene, speech pathology and audiology, medical lab science, pre-medicine, psychology, biomedical science, or the physician assistant program. Our faculty have the experience to prepare you for a rewarding future. There's never been a better time to prepare for a healthcare career, and there's no better place than West Liberty University. Find out more at westliberty.edu/healthcareers.
You have dreams.
A better life, a better job, a better you.
So where do you start to build the skills necessary to get there? At West Virginia State, you are not just a number, you are who you choose to be.
You receive personal attention from award-winning faculty.
You study in nationally recognized programs.
You learn the skills that will get you the job you know you can have. No matter where you want to go
or what you want to do,
it starts at State.
Welcome to your home among the hills. At West Virginia Wesleyan College, you'll unearth new passions, be exposed to fresh perspectives, and find what drives you. This place of discovery is where you can become a scientist, a leader, an athlete, a performer, a friend. Opportunities include research, internships, and study abroad. Plus, our vibrant community makes for experiences you'll never forget. Discover yourself at West Virginia Wesleyan College.
Our mission as educators is to help you grow, explore, and achieve your aspirations. When our seniors graduate, they receive more than just a diploma. They leave Wheeling University with clarity, purpose, and the confidence that they need to succeed throughout their career. Exceptional experiences, exciting opportunities, meaningful guidance, and lifelong friendships. This is the foundation and academic excellence we believe in. That's the Wheeling University difference.
Welcome back here to Milan Park in Morgantown. 2025 Mountain East Conference Track and Field Championships unfolding. And Jim Mahan, we have one race remaining here today. And on this beautiful evening, it will be the women's 3,000-meter steeplechase. Just had the men's. Jonathan Norton of West Virginia Wesleyan coming away as the winner.
Yeah, we have just a slight difference. The length does not change. The solid barriers, there's still 28 of those. There's still 7 water jumps. The only appreciable difference, of course, with the women's, you see them lined up. There's 16 of them there, and the biggest difference, Mark, is the hurdle height goes from 36 inches down to 30 inches. But there is no change, so it's kind of a little bit of a difference and disadvantage for the women. There's no change in the water jump, so that's a little bit more of a challenge for the women as it is for the men.
Corrine Lee Hauser of Point Park. Leah Hall of West Virginia Wesleyan. Sierra Taylor of Davis and Elkins. Allie Hicks of West Liberty. Rachel Stedden of Davis and Elkins. Jenna Barnett of Glenville. Alina Valengode of Davis and Elkins, Ella Hessen of Davis and Elkins, Lottie Zetloff of Point Park, Charlotte McGinnis of Concord, Hannah Scheiman of Frostburg State, Kate Kelly of Concord, Christina Lesho of West Virginia Wesleyan, Gabby Biano of Wheeling, Aubrey Pace of West Virginia Wesleyan and Lindsey Dillon of Wesleyan. That's your field.
Yeah, beautiful shot here. Milan Park, a great facility, Mark, you alluded to earlier. A little nugget of information. The women's steeple didn't really start till late. The first time they ever had it in the Olympics was at Beijing in 2008. So it's a very new event. So it's new for these competitors as well. There's 5 young ladies in the field that have broken 12. The best time turned in this year is from Ella Hessen at 11 minutes, 21.3 seconds. So she's one of the front runners we're going to take a look at. Another one in that realm would be Leah Hall from West Virginia Wesleyan at 11:29. Those are 2 time-wise have the best times of this year.
Gun fired, and we are ready to go. Ella Hessen, she's a young lady from D&E, Williamstown native, and she was a great athlete at Williamstown and been a good solid runner at D&E, and it's hard to believe she's a senior.
Seems like we've been calling her name for years, but obviously if she's senior, she's been around a few times. More of a deliberate pace, just like the men. You see they're kind of packed together there. 7.5 laps around. They start on the backside of a 400-meter track. 3,000 meters is the length of this.
Bringing some great shots and some great sounds, sights and sounds of this steeplechase here.
We saw a little bit of a hesitation there from the leaders in terms of the first hurdle, trying to get the rhythm, trying to stay with it early on. You don't want to make an early mistake like that. 2 fixed barriers to start out with. And you notice they pass by the water jump. They'll have that coming down on the backstretch. 28 fixed barriers, 7 times they'll jump the water, 7.5 laps. It is grueling. You'll see a little bit of a difference in terms of the women and the men in the way they approach the fixed barriers as the race progresses. This is their first of 7 water jumps, so they will see how they land and where they land. And the middle versus the end, you see what kind of difference that makes. That's a sloped, it's like a pool, Mark. It's sloped down toward the barrier, so the closer you are to the barrier, the deeper the water is.
It's the kind of like the pool at your house that you never use.
It's that one that's been in place for a while that I think I'm working on year 5 of not being in the pool. So,
all right, Leah Hall, Wesleyan, and there's Ella Hessen right there with her.
I see a difference in Hall and Hessen. Hessen from D&E. Leah Hall will use the barrier. She'll put her foot on the top of the barrier to hurdle herself over it. Hessen won't do that. She actually hurdles it. You see, she uses the foot. Hessen does not. She hurdles it, which that could prove to be difference as they go on. But you notice that it looks to me like Hall tries to make up her difference, tries to stretch out her lead while she's in between the barriers. She's not really strong. She puts that foot on the barrier. Hessen does not. And then you see our third place person right now is Lottie Zedoff from Point Park. She has eclipsed 12 minutes in this 3,000 meter steeple, so she's no stranger. This is number 2 jump for them.
And Leah Hall, a little bit of distance between her and Hessen. Hessen did a nice job there in the water, barely touched it.
Yeah, she's really strong. She'll use the steeple and just try to get it out as far as she can. She obviously doesn't like the water very much. It is grueling, and it is taxing and requires a great deal of concentration. You see their teammates there encouraging them on. And Leah Hall over the hurdle with about a 3 or 4 second differential between her and Ella Hessen for second. Again, Hessen not using the hurdle at all. She's just hurdling it over, not using it as a launch point like Leah Hall does.
Good look at Leah Hall, the senior from Wesleyan. Hessen is second.
And she's taking no chances. You'll see that Leah Hall will always, it doesn't matter where she is on the track. Here she's going to have to go over the water again. So let's take a look. She always uses her left foot for the barrier, and she's very comfortable with leading with the left foot on the barrier, even over the water jumps and the solid barrier. She'll do the same thing. She'll put the left foot up, use it as a launching point. You'll see if she'll do this again here in the lead. See that little stagger there? And those are the kind of things where she just didn't have her stride length just right. But she wants to make sure that that left foot is her lead.
Lesho, I believe, is in third out of Wesleyan. We've got Lindsey Dillon now in fourth. Lottie Zethoff is in third. And there's Leah Hall, the leader.
And Lindsey Dillon has closed quite a bit, Mark, on Ella Hessen. I mean, she had probably a 5 or second lead. Now now as a matter of fact, Lindsey Dillon has overtaken Ella Hessen at this point, the freshman.
Senior Leah Hall leads the way. And you see right behind her a teammate. Hessen third.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder how coaches weave their magic in getting these athletes. Hey, I want you to run the 3,000-meter steeple. Oh, okay. There we go. She just fell head over, just clipped it and fell.
Oh, my
our
goodness.
leader. Now that'll have more of a mental than a physical effect on her. Doesn't look like it's affected her stride right now, but mentally right now, we're in the cool of the evening, and she has been totally submerged in the water.
Of all the years I've been watching this, Jim, that's the first time I've seen that happen. And rarely would you see it happen from the leader.
You do. Yeah, it is rare, Mark. You are correct. But what it does, it's going to make her more apprehensive as she gets over, when she goes over, not the fixed barriers, the next time she comes around to that water barrier, because she's got to jump it a few more times. How's it going to affect her mentally? We'll have to see that as this race progresses. I'm glad she's not hurt. I'm very thankful that she's able to continue to move forward here.
Using that left foot, and Hessen is second. Great shots by our drone. Leah Hall, a senior.
I believe we got Dillon in second, Mark. She's passed Hessen, her own teammate, I believe.
You are correct, Dillon. Until for a moment that Hessen had reemerged as the second-place runner, but it is, in fact, Lindsey Dillon. So a 1-2
take a look at this
lead
water
at the
jump,
moment.
Mark, and see how she handles this right now. Okay, very gingerly over it. She didn't attack it, just clipped it with her toe. That's what happened. And if you don't get that toe up on top of that barrier, you're going to fall, and that's exactly what happened.
And as you mentioned earlier, again, it's just really fortunate that there was not an injury. I mean, you can fall awkwardly. And
she could have landed on her wrist or her elbow and popped something out of joint. I mean, there's all sorts of things. Notwithstanding the fact that she's completely soaking wet, not just her feet, her whole body, her head, everything went under. So, but she's a trooper. She's rolling right along.
There's Ella Hessen, who's now in third place.
And you look at Hessen there, you remarked about her, but she's really, when you look at her, she's really kind of laboring a little bit at this point. So she's got to be careful about making a mistake as she heads over one of the barriers or the water jump.
Leah Hall well in front here in the women's 3,000-meter steeplechase. Senior from West Virginia Wesleyan. Lindsey Dillon is second. Ella Hessen is third. Lottie Zethoff is fourth. Hannah Schaumann is fifth. From Frostburg State.
And you got Hessen third. She got about a 4-second lead on the 4th place runner, which is Zethoff, Audie Zethoff in Point Park. So we'll see how she closes on that in the last 2.5 laps to go.
Leah Hall starting to look stronger and stronger. Passing runners.
Yeah, she's kind of got her rhythm back, which very thankful for.
Gets that bell lap, Jim.
Great sound that is.
Leah Hall. Just heard Jesse Skiles, the public address announcer of the Glenville State University, director of athletics, and of course a legendary track and field coach at the collegiate level, saying that she's been dominant, and that's indeed the case.
Yeah, Jesse's been around a long time, knows a lot about the sport, has a great passion for it. Just to admire his work. I mean, a lot of guys don't want to have that stick-to-itiveness. He does. Always been a champion for the kids, too.
So Leah Hall leads the way. Lindsey Dillon, her teammate, is second.
And she's coming in on her, I believe.
Yeah, one more splash.
I think it's her last water.
Yes, this is her last splash. She goes in, she's out, and now a matter of getting down that back straightaway, kicking it into high gear.
She will have one more circle around the track. This will.
Leah Hall coming on, and Leah Hall is going to take first place and win the women's 3,000-meter steeplechase out of West Virginia Wesleyan. She takes first, and her teammate Lindsey Dillon second, and Ella Hessen, a great high school athlete at Williamstown, and has made her way to Davis and Elkins and has had a nice solid career. She's going to finish third, and Hessen there crossing the finish in lane 2. But what a run by Leah Hall.
Yeah, great job of her kind of grabbing her composure after that nasty fall on, I believe, was the third water jump that she had, third or fourth, which was amazing that she's not even halfway through her race and she was able to compose herself, gather herself, concentrate, and get back to the task at hand, which is winning the women's 3,000-meter steeple.
Zethoff of Point Park was fourth. Jenna Barnett of Glenville was fifth. Hannah Schauman of Frostburg State comes in sixth.
Yeah, all those points matter, Mark. The top 8 are going to be place winners. So,
Sierra Taylor of Davis and Elkins giving the Senators 2 scorers in the steeplechase. And Aubrey Pace of West Virginia Wesleyan, a freshman, finishes 8th. So Wesleyan with 3 scorers in the 3,000-meter steeplechase. Well, Jim, tomorrow, field events, we'll get it going at 11 o'clock. Discus throw for the men, the pole vault for the men, and the women's triple jump. At 1 o'clock, it will be the women's discus throw, the women's high jump, and the men's triple jump. And then the running events will get going. At noon, it will be the 4x100 meter relay for the men, followed by the women's 4x1. At 12:20, the men's 1,500 meters. The women will follow. The men's 110 meter hurdles at 12:45. The women's 100 meter hurdles will be at 12:50. Men's 400 meters will be at 1 o'clock, followed by the women, and the men's 100 meters at 1:15. Women to follow. The men's 800 meters at 1:30. The women will be at 1:35. The men's 400-meter hurdles at 1:50. The women's 400-meter hurdles will be at 1:55. The men's 200 meters at 2:10. The women's 200 meters at 2:15. The men's 5,000 meters, followed by the women's 2:25 will be the start. And then the 4x4 will finish it all off. Well, it did not deter Leah Hall from winning the title of the 3,000-meter steeplechase.
Just didn't get that lead foot up there over on the top shelf of that barrier, and it caught her. But talking about courageous, and she was able to overcome that.
Again, a 1-2 finish for West Virginia Wesleyan, Leah Hall and Lindsey Dillon. 1 and 2. Ella Hessen was third. Lottie Zethoff of Point Park was fourth. Jenna Barnett of Glenville was fifth. Hannah Schauman of Frostburg was sixth. Sierra Taylor was seventh. And Aubrey Pace was eighth. Well, Jim Mahan, it's been a great day 2 for us here. Seen a lot of outstanding competition, and we got more great things to come on day 3.
Yeah, they teased us a little bit. We get official results coming up here, but of a final in the 3,000. But everything that we call tomorrow, Mark, will be final straight out and points awarded. So, and podium and recognition and team championships. So, super exciting for tomorrow.
Yeah, and again, just a great job by our crew. I mean, just some incredible pictures all the way around. Again, we talk about how difficult track and field is as a whole, and then the coverage that our crew did, just spectacular. Brian Shepard, our producer. Levi Barnhart is our director. Parker Withrow, Andrew Boland, Butch Mounts on cameras. Our drone pilot is Shane Cobb, and the executive producer of Video Production Sports is Butch Mounts. And again, coverage has been produced by Video Productions in conjunction with the Mountain East Conference. So we take one final look at our final race of the evening, and Leah Hall, soaking wet, but down the stretch, and she takes the women's 3,000-meter steeplechase. What a race for that young lady, a senior out of West Virginia Wesleyan. So we look forward to day 3, and we hope all of you will be joining us. So for analyst Jim Mahan and our great crew, this is Mark Martin. You've been watching live coverage of the 2025 Mountain East Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships on the Mountain East Conference Digital Network.